Hello everyone, welcome to September Mascot Madness number 2. My name is Sean, I am your host of this wonderful event that we do here on twitch.tv/SeanOsaurusRex and on YouTube every Saturday and Sunday in the month of September. Welcome on in. This is the first part of the round of 64, so we have 64 games to get to. We'll have 8 games today, and I don't think I fixed this part, so what I need to do is make sure that I have part 1 and then leave all of these other ones where they are. You apparently can't edit your prediction unless you have an account, which I have, but I wasn't signed in when I made it. Oh, rip. I did not realize that. Because I was signed into my account, because I have to do that to run the thing, but... Oh no. Was there something you were trying to change? That sucks. That sucks. But thank you for letting me know, so that way I can clarify that in the future. So I don't, give bad information again. Alright. Anyway, this is a tournament of completely mascot games. I also need to turn the volume down, I just realized. Because this runs at a different thing than I have. 22.6. Oh boy. That's close enough. Alright. Here we go. Welcome. Like I said, this is part number 1. We have a ton of games to get to today. A little bit of a background on the tournament is some stuff. I have a whole notebook over here. I didn't grab a pen, though. Shoot. I had a pen yesterday and I dropped it. And then I forgot to pick it up. Well, I moved stuff around and I'm sure it got buried. Yeah, this is a tournament. We do it twice a year. We do it once in March, once in September. They take all month to do. We do 8 games, 8 games a day for 8 parts because it's nice and round. We will crown a champion. We'll get a 3rd place finisher in there, and it's just a ton of fun. We have been filling out brackets over on challenge.com/SMM2020. Going to go through and double check what I had down, but now I can't even see what I guessed. Rip. Oh. Well, you'll be able to check as soon as I close out the predictions. Basically, long story short, my mouse is driving me insane today. We run predictions for about a month before the tournament happens. I do a bracket reveal stream in either February or August. This time it was July. And then we count down the best of the... count down the best. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. The adrenaline's going. I'm all hyped up. I won 2 games of Fall Guys. We're feeling good. We run through the 5 best games of the previous tournament. Hopefully get some eyes on the tournament. You go over to this website. You fill out a bracket. And then we close the brackets before we start the first game. And this time around, as it always is, it's Washington State and Washington in what I call the Apple Basket. Washington State has never won a game in the tournament. Washington has never gotten out of the round of 32. All they've ever done is beat Washington State, and then they lose in the immediate next round. So, here we go. This is game number 1 of 64. I commentate the game, which reminds me I need to actually load the settings. Features, load, settings, yes. That way, everything's all good. Just fix this. I'll update you on the bracket standings at the halfway point of the stream, and then at the end of the stream, and then during normal, any other part, we'll do it at the beginning, the middle, and the end. So, that is how we'll do it. I'll be entering the scores as we go along. I have this flipped incorrectly. There we go. Let's go to Seattle, Washington, and watch the Cougars and the Huskies. The games are played on All-American difficulty. They are 10 minutes. We're just watching. Go Cougars. Let's go. Usually I let the brackets run until the end of this first half. So I guess we can do that. All right. Here we go. Welcome to Seattle, Washington, as Harry Husky and Butch T. Cougar tip it off. And the Cougars, who played very well in the best of the worst tournament that we did yesterday, the best of the non-winners, get off to a good start here with a 2-0 lead. Nice little inside hook shot. They finished in third in that little tournament. Turns out we had 8 teams that had never won. That's a long 2 off the left iron, no good. Cougars rebound. We had a tournament yesterday, Hype Stream tournament, and the Cougars played very well in the second half of the third place game. That one's off the left iron as well, no good. And Washington leads 2-0. Every game, 10-minute halves. We run them that way. Each part lasts about 4 hours. I'll be pointing out some stuff throughout the games. Probably repeat myself a bunch. But there are 8 parts. This takes roughly 32 hours to do. But it's fun. It's a lot of fun. So we'll close the predictions at halftime. I guess technically you would get a little bit of an advantage, but you know, if someone comes in late, no problem. Each of the bracket is scored in a way that the first round is worth 1 and it grows each round. So if you fall behind early, you still have a shot. Usually it comes down to like 1 or 2 teams that you have like a pretty good feeling on. Somehow that wasn't an offensive foul. The shot was missed though. 4-1, Washington up, or Washington State up, excuse me. I'm used to Washington being ahead. Cougars looking good here so far, 6-1. Yeah, so you can take a lot of losses early. 3 is short. Butch T. Cougar looking good. We saw them grind out a kind of an ugly game against Nebraska yesterday. Ooh, nice steal by Harry Husky there. Gonna push it up the court. Back outside. Good defense by the Cougars. Made sure that it wasn't an easy 2. And a smart decision on the Huskies to pop it back out and just kind of reset and go, all right, we didn't get the fast break points. We'll do an offensive set here. And it paid off with a mid-range 2. So I guess technically you have 7 minutes and 43 seconds to get your brackets done. That is an offensive rebound, and that one went out of bounds. That is a weirdness in this game. We see a lot of out of bounds. I think it just has something to do with the collision detection with the players near the basket where it just kind of bumps them. Sometimes it is odd. There's a 3. Oh, that was a 2, excuse me. Could be hard to tell. Let me finish that thought before I get into the 2s and 3s. It's odd because sometimes not only do the players collide down there, but, and where I was going with this was sometimes the computer will just change hands for seemingly no reason and throw it into the back of the backboard. Like there's just no spatial awareness of where they are, of like, oh, if I throw this, it's not going to go in the hoop. And then the shot that I thought was a 3 was indeed a 2. These characters have 2 of the smaller feet sets in the game, so they're not the best example. But we will see some mascots with very large feet that make it difficult with the 2s and 3s and exactly where they are, because the mascot costumes are just draped over the regular player. Hit detection and collision detection and all that stuff. So what sometimes looks like a 2 is actually a 3, and sometimes what looks like is out of bounds is actually inbounds. It's a little weird. We'll have some oddness with that. Cougars missing a couple of shots down low, point blank, which is not good for them considering that they are up 3. That's a 2. That was a 3. What? I didn't hear the crowd on that one. Anyway, 6:07 remaining. Washington State should probably have a bigger lead than no lead. But we saw them struggle down the stretch against Nebraska. And we've never seen the Cougars outside of the round of 64. They've only ever played the Washington Huskies. We're hoping today is the day for a little bit of a change-up. On the flip side, the Washington Huskies always win and then immediately get eliminated. And I picked the Cougars to go very far in this tournament. I know that because I did my bracket today. Because I was like, sign up for your bracket, and then I'd remember, I haven't filled mine out yet. I don't understand what that offensive moveset was. Oh, nice block by the Huskies. Gathers the loose ball, misses the second shot. And Washington looking for their first lead of the game, and they will not get it. Rebounded by the Cougars. So kind of a sloppy start here. Cougars started well, and they've since gone cold. The Huskies have not been particularly good, but they've taken advantage of the Cougars not playing better than they probably should be playing. So 12-10, Washington State leads. Under 5 to go. If we see the Cougars, we might see some of these kind of sloppy slugfests. The left side no good, but the tip in is good. So tied back up at 12. Like, for example, the Cougars in the Who's the Best of the Never Winners tournament, they won their game scoring fewer points than 3 teams that lost. Or all, yeah. Which was just absurd. Where they won 45-40 in the first round before losing to Nebraska in the second. Washington with back-to-back buckets gets their first lead of the game. 4:20 remaining, first half. Outside. It's the second time we've seen that kind of weird movement on the outside. Maybe looking for a 3. That's probably a 2. It is. So with 4 minutes remaining, we're locked up at 14 each. You're looking somewhere between the low 20s, low 30s as far as individual teams scoring. There's a big 3 for Washington off the right iron. No good. A little bit of a fast break opportunity for the Cougars. It was a 1-on-2 opportunity. Not great for the Cougars, so they'll pull it back out, run a set play. Worked well for the Huskies earlier. Looks like it's going to be okay for the Cougars this time. They'll go to the line, shoot 2. Off the front iron, no good. It's definitely a benefit of March Madness 06 over some of the other games that we've used in the past. 0 for 2 from the free throw line. A lot more missed free throws, making things more interesting and exciting, especially down the stretch in tight games. So the Cougars not able to take advantage of the Huskies' foul. Nice block there, but the loose ball is gathered up by the Huskies. I think it was blocked again, or maybe it was off the side of the backboard. Hard to tell when there's 3 Cougars and 2 Huskies down there. Huskies somehow come away empty-handed. Into a double team. Watch out for that out of bounds to the baseline. We see a lot of that. Floated into the low post. Got away with a shoulder check there. I don't know. I sit so far forward when I'm playing like games that I'm engaged. I could relax. I can sit back, chillax, you know. Just talk about some sports. Put my hands in my pockets. Oh, yeah. Huskies miss off the right, but off the right iron, it just bounced around and nothing. The Huskies got 2 extra shots there because for some reason the Cougars didn't go for the rebound. So some defensive issues here as the first half comes to a close. Cougars get an offensive rebound of their own and they put it back. I feel like offensive rebounds are more common in this game. Quick passes inside. That play works to perfection for the Huskies. Very consistently good play to run. Nice quick pass inside. Rattles around the rim and drops 20-18. Nice tight game here to start off September Mascot Madness 2. If you're watching this on YouTube and you want to watch others, or you're watching this on Twitch and you want to see other tournaments, there's all kinds of videos up on my YouTube channel. Thanks to everyone who's subscribed recently as Washington nails a 3 and takes their, I believe that's their second lead of the game. They were up 14-12. Cougars elect not to take a 3. But yeah, thank you to everyone who's been subscribing over on YouTube. We're inching closer to getting a nice, clean URL, which I'm pretty excited about. The views have been great. The watch time's been great over on YouTube. For some reason, people really love watching that Men in Black full playthrough I did. I don't know why. It was the like 3rd most viewed video on my channel, and I'm like, why? It's always games like that. It's always some game that I'm like, oh, I'll just play this because it's funny or whatever, and then it does really well. The Nicktoons MLB is another good example. He has a wide open three, and he's just not taking it. The Husky defense has no reason to even be anywhere near the three-point line because they're just not, the Cougars aren't taking threes. Another miss inside. We have a 21-20 game here. About 30 seconds to go. Huskies lead by 3. There's a nice shot. Either team can hold for the final shot. They usually don't. The Huskies will this time, but not of their own accord. There's a long three for the Cougars, which doesn't even touch the backboard. So that'll do it for the first half, 23-22. Cougars get the ball to start the second half. And with that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to close submissions for the tournament. And start the tournament. Thankfully, hopefully no one in chat was actually trying to fill that out, but you should have said something. This happens pretty frequently. The players get locked up down in the key for some reason. It doesn't call a 3 in the key. This is actually just going to be a shot clock violation. Interesting. Normally, what happens there is right about 3 seconds, whatever is in like the code tells the game shoot at 3 seconds, pretty much regardless. It's usually successful. Switch hands. Washington State takes the lead. But that time they didn't even go up for the shot. So not a great start for the Huskies, but a good start for me because I was able to close those brackets without missing any action. So a shot clock violation leads to a lead change in favor of the Cougars. Back down the other way. Washington makes the 2. And the lead shifts back to the purple side. Oh, up off the rim, no good. I wonder if the Cougars just don't really have any three-point shooting players because they've been all their points have been inside the arc. Dancing around on the right side, all by himself, one-on-one. There is no one else even on that side of the court. Moves into a double team, passes back out to the three-point line. Under 10 seconds on the shot clock. Not a whole lot going on here. Passes back. They're going to have to jack up a 3 here in just a moment. Step back, fade away, off the left iron, no good. But an offensive rebound is fouled. I made it sound like the offensive rebound was fouled. The rebounder was fouled. Washington missing a free throw. A lot of tails on the court here. And they missed 2 as well. So the Cougars and the Huskies have both missed at least 2 free throws. So that's at least even. Washington could have had a 3-point lead, could have had a 2-point lead, but instead they keep their 1-point lead as we work here in the second half. 2 minutes gone. Neither team really finding their rhythm. It was 23-22. It is now 25-24, which means that there have been 4 total points scored in 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Or 4 total points scored. Did I say that correctly? 2 points for each team. The Huskies will make me incorrect. I'll get on the board, push it out to a 3-point lead. Cougars playing from behind. All they have to do is kind of take what Nebraska did and do it to the Huskies. As the Cougars get blocked there. What the Cornhuskers did yesterday, Nebraska, in the game against the Cougars to determine who would go to the championship in the best of the never winners, was they continued to just trade like a 2-point lead, 4-point lead, 2-point lead. They matched every 2 that the Cougars gave them until Washington State missed a few. Then all of a sudden, they were able to take the lead. And the Cougars were not particularly good at playing from behind, which is kind of a worry here as the Cougars are down by 5. So we'll see what they can do. But if they can just chip away, just 2 here, 2 there, don't let the Huskies get too far in front of them. They're going to have to shoot a 3 here. Nailed it. Knocked it down. Nice shot from Washington State there. 29-27, 6:33 remaining here, second half. This is a good game to start the tournament. Oh my God. Nice defense. I was going to say that there was just a completely open lane, but a good collapse by the Washington State defense. Forced to contest, and the shot was missed. So Washington State hit that 3 last time down the floor. They can tie it here. They will do that with an authoritative jam. 29-29. Excellent game here to start out the tournament. Nice steal by the Cougars on the outside there. They'll pass it inside. A little bit of a weird body collision. That was a very odd sequence of events. Just passed it too deep in. There were 3 Huskies there. And it looked like just kind of got bounced around. And Cougars come away with nothing off the steal. And instead turn the ball over themselves. The Huskies cash in. 2 points for them, 31-29. Nice little move there, but just couldn't get enough mustard on it and bounced off that left iron and just never really had much of a chance. Needed to float it a little bit more to give it a shot to bounce correctly. Down in the post here. Huskies moving around. Nice block by Washington State. It's a 2-on-1 opportunity. Just pass it right back to him. Nice defense by the Huskies. That was maybe a block shot, maybe a pass. I think it was a block shot. Either way, the Cougars come up with the loose ball, put it back, and we're tied at 31. Both teams finding their rhythm a little bit offensively, but the defense has been very good. Neither the Cougars nor the Huskies are really all that excited to shoot the 3. They've both been super happy to just jump into the paint and try and get 2s from there. It's going to be a defensive foul. Oh no, that resets the shot clock, and that was a bad defensive foul. There was under 10 seconds on that shot clock. That's going to be a foul, so the Huskies will go to the line for 2. Third team foul for the Cougars. That first free throw is missed, so the Huskies now up to 3 missed free throws. Finally nails one, and it is now Washington 32, Washington State 31. Into a double team. Ball is going to get stripped, stolen, turnover. Huskies, yo, nice defense. Just couldn't come up with the loose ball. That was a really good recovery on that stolen ball. Approaching 4 minutes here in the second half. Cougars pretty close to that sideline. Not really excited to take a 3. Instead, they'll work inside. That's going to be out of bounds. And that one's a weird just collision where he just got kind of bumped out. And Washington State starts to feel the wheels shake a little bit as we're entering the stretch, the final stretch of this game. Nice block shot and a loose ball recovery. Should be an easy layup, and it is. Had to step on the defender. Huskies deep 3. Off the left iron, no good. Cougars recover the rebound. Not a great opportunity here. He stepped on the... he stepped on the baseline. Oh, no. The Cougars get a steal, and they turn the ball over again in the ensuing possession. Out of bounds, Washington State ball. This has admittedly not been a super clean game on either side. I think the defense has been very good. I think it helps that both Washington and Washington State like to just shoot 2s and not really worry about 3s. Nice jump shot there from Washington State to give them the lead, 35-34 with under 3 to go. So a lot of it is funneling into big giant defenders who are going to put their big paws on the balls and just get that out of here. You know, that sort of mentality. Nice steal from Washington State. We'll see if they can convert this into points instead of turning the ball over. I don't have high hopes. Instead, it's a hook shot that doesn't go anywhere. I guess technically an improvement, but still not great. Washington State up by 1. And another, in just a super grinded out game. I'll be curious to see how that affects the winning team either way. That's a deep 2 to give the Huskies a 1-point lead. We'll see. Winner has to play either Georgia or Miami, so we'll see what their playing styles are and see how that could maybe affect the Cougars or the Huskies moving forward. Back outside. 17 on the shot clock. Trying to get some moves in there. They have 3 defenders in the key. It's just a whole mess down there. That's a defensive foul. Cougars just need 1 to tie the game. There they go. 1 point. Oh, missed the second one. That's all right. I would qualify this game as a slobber knocker of a game. This is just a mess. 36-36. 1:41 remains here in the game, unless we go to overtime. And this might be the best. Oh my gosh, nice 3 from Washington there. This might be the best apple basket game that we have had so far. Usually at this point, the Huskies are ahead by like 6, and it's like, well, maybe next year or next time. Off the right iron, no good. Oh no, the Cougars just couldn't get it. The Huskies made that like, of course they did 3, you know. Looks like they'll go for another one, 3, and it's good. Oh my God. I jinxed it, didn't I? Cougars giving up 2 threes, and it is 1 minute remaining here. They're going to have to take 3s. Washington State is never going to win a game if I keep putting them against Washington. Out of bounds, Washington State ball. If Washington State can get a quick shot here and make it. Okay, that was half and half. It feels a lot. Oh my God, what a steal on the inbound pass. What a steal. You gotta go. You gotta go a little quicker than this. Just a little bit. Just a little. Any real, don't you dare get a 5-second violation. 3 for the Cougars is up and good. 42-39. There's no one down low for the Cougars. They're throwing at least half court. Probably a little much. There's no shot clock, so Washington State's going to have to foul. If they can get another steal on the inbound, the Huskies are just, they seem so disorganized. There's no one near the inbound. That should be foul number 7, so the Huskies go to the line for 1 and 1. First one's good. The second one is good as well. So, Washington State will take a timeout. I mean, this does feel a lot like watching a Cougars and Huskies game, where the Cougars are right there, and then there's just 2 huge plays that the Huskies make, and you're like, well, it was a good run. It was a very good run. We'll see you in March. All right, you got to go. You got to go. You have to go. You can't take 2s. That's not going to do you any good. Loose ball recovered by the Cougars. It's going to be flipped up and fouled. And you definitely cannot do that. All right, 11.5 seconds, and my bracket is about to be annihilated. Huskies make the first. 10.9 to go. Made the second. So 46-40, Washington State will take a timeout. It was really just the 2 threes. That's all it was. 2 3-pointers by the Huskies will push them into the second round. The Cougars will go all the way down court. They'll shoot a 3. It's up and no good. That was not a bad play. Not a bad play at all. And that will do it. No, I hit all caps. So Washington State falls 40-46. God damn it. I don't know why I picked the Cougars. I picked them because I love them, but I know it's not the right choice. Alright, double check the score here. 40-46. Winner is Washington. submitting the scores, and we have our first game done here. 7 to go. That was a good game. Kind of a dud there at the end, but it might still be the best apple basket game we've had. But it is that thing of like, well, the Huskies made 2 threes, and that's it. It was a good run. We'll see you next time. All right. So Washington State remains absolutely winless in all of the tournaments. Georgia at Miami coming up next here for you. We have Bulldogs versus, I'm going to double check this one, Georgia. Okay. There's Georgia, Georgia State, and Georgetown. Also, I am haunted by the extra game that I played last tournament. Both of these have made it to the Elite Eight at some point, both these teams. Elite Eight participants in the past. Georgia in last September's tournament. Miami in the most recent tournament back in March. So we'll see what happens here. Again, All-American, 10 minutes. That good stuff. We head down to Miami, Florida. Alright, well, that means my bracket is already gone. Already gone. I'm sure that I'm in last place. Yep, cool. Miami, nice little 2 to roll in there. We'll update you on the brackets as in the middle of the tournament. Basically, the format's going to be every part's 8 games, obviously. We'll do 4 games, take a little break, and then we'll do 4 more games after that. That's when we'll update you. Update you on the brackets, and we'll get you set for tomorrow's action at the very end, give you the bracket update, and then tomorrow we'll start with an update or a reminder of what happened, and then same kind of thing. That'll be tomorrow, both on YouTube and on twitch.tv/Shawnosaurus Miami up 4-3, now up 6-3. This is a fast-paced game. Either way, Washington might be in trouble because this is a lot of points in the first minute of the game. So here we go. Georgia Bulldogs working it outside. See if they'll take a 3 here to tie. Working it around. Pass inside. Teams look like they're a little more perimeter focused. The comparison would be the Cougars and the Huskies had a lot of players in the paint pretty consistently. They have no one in the paint. We're under 10 seconds on the shot clock. 3, 4-3, nailed it. So Georgia, they didn't necessarily want to take the 3 there, but they did end up taking the 3. And we're all locked up here at 6, a minute and a half into this game. Shot is up and no good. Stripped away. Georgia holds, waits for the team to reset, and that one's stolen away by, I believe it's Sebastian, the Hurricane Duck. And Miami regains the lead 8-6. Nice drive by Georgia, but blocked at the rim. Fast pass up ahead. Excuse me, but was not able to get it in the basket. Instead, it's a miss, but led to a rebound and a foul. So Miami go to the line to shoot 2. We have our first 6-9 game of the tournament. Miami up 3, working with a full court defense. Big difference between a full court defense and a full court press. Georgia lays it up. 9-8. I noticed when I was making my my bracket picks, I would sometimes like I picked Washington State in the first game, and then I was like, well, I'd like to see them instead of either Georgia or Miami, so I put them in the next round, and then it was kind of like, well, I don't care who wins this game because I'm not picking them in the next round, so I just kind of like coin flipped in my head got answered. As we see an offensive foul that leads immediately to a steal. Deep three for Miami is short. One step forward and you probably would have had that swish-ola. But no luck. So all of that kind of evened out. Georgia, who got the foul call in the favor and then turned the ball over. Nice inside pass there, got behind the defender. That'll rotate the lead back to Miami. Passes it back to bring it up. Working with a little more of a inside presence there. Nice run to the three-point line. One of the most consistent plays in NCAA March Madness 2005. Not so much in this game, which is what makes it so good. That's what you're looking for. You usually run a three-point shooter down by the baseline. Run them up to the like 5 o'clock or 7 o'clock slot on the three-point line. I'm sure there's a better term for it, but whatever. You hope for an open shot. Just couldn't get it that time. Georgia 12, Miami 11. About 4 minutes gone in the first half. A little more high-octane first half. Seemed like the teams got off to a fast start and have kind of cooled off in the last couple minutes. Shot up and good. There they go. Georgia's getting some good looks from three. They nail that one to give themselves a 2-point lead, 15-13. It's interesting because they run a similar looking play. We saw Washington State do it a couple of times in the last game as well. But instead of running all the way out to the three-point line, they stop right in that little gap and shoot a deep two, or I guess maybe it's more of a mid-range, but shoot a mid-range two, which is an interesting little wrinkle to the play. Shot is up and good, so Georgia extends their lead out to 4 points, 17-13. Miami only down 4. Nice mid-range jump shot there, 17-15. Miami looking to repeat their Elite Eight appearance from the most recent tournament, March Mascot Madness II, as Georgia nails a 3 and gives them a 5-point lead. Thankfully, in each of the tournaments, we've had different winners. So we had Duke in the first one, we had Arizona State in the second, and then the most recent was Louisville. Which hopefully, not that I would be against a repeat, but I kind of am against a repeat. Hopefully they can, hopefully maybe they don't make it all the way, you know. And it's interesting, Louisville's a really interesting team. Nice play by Miami there to get it inside and cut the lead down to 3. Louisville had a really weird game in the first round of the most recent March tournament. Oh my goodness, what a defensive play there by Miami. I thought that was a free and clear 2 points, and he just showed up out of nowhere, flew on over and blocked the shot. And it leads to 2 points for Miami. So a little 4-0 run here. Again, Georgia getting in pretty easily to get some layups. Now push the lead back out to 3. Yeah, Louisville, 3 for Miami goes down. It's good. But just to quickly wrap up that thought on Louisville. Louisville almost didn't make it out of the first round. They'd overcome a pretty big deficit in one of the weirder games of the most tournaments. That might be a 3 as well. It is. Back-to-back threes gives Georgia back their 3-point lead. But they went on to win the tournament rather easily. Louisville did. That's a foul. Couldn't get the shot up and in, but 2 shots coming from the line here. First one is missed. Second one is missed as well, so 2 missed free throws for the Miami Hurricanes. We saw some missed free throws in the previous game. Fake the shot. Backed out. Tried to get back down low. Nothing really doing there. Fake the shot. Again. Just we're getting into some double teams down on the key. He is right on the out of bounds line. These are much better examples of teams that have large feet, particularly particularly Miami. So it can be a little tricky to tell sometimes. Georgia's aren't too bad, but they are a little bigger. Second shot is up and good. So 25-24 here. Good game. A couple of good games here. Early, which is good. Fade away for Georgia. Makes it back to a 3-point game. Final game we had last night in the Best of the Never Winners tournament wasn't great. Free and open for a 3 and nails it. We're all tied at 27. So I think both of these teams are going to give Washington trouble in the next round. They've each scored 27 points in the first 8 minutes. Stolen away by the Hurricanes here. 2-on-1 opportunity. Short on the shot. I guess a foul is an alright result. Gets the first shot to go. So a 4-0 run here gives Miami back the lead. It took Washington and the Washington State, but more importantly Washington because they won. Washington a long time to get up to 30 points. We'll see if maybe their grinded out style of play can kind of dictate the pace a little bit more. But that'll be way down the line. That'll be part number 5. Off the left iron, no good. Off the left iron, no good. Off the right iron and no good. So some free throw troubles here for the Hurricanes of Miami. 2 quick passes inside. Georgia forces a miss. Or Miami, excuse me, forces a miss. They'll do 2 quick passes inside. That was into a double team. Looks like it was about to be stripped. It was not. Instead it was a foul, and yet again Miami misses a free throw. Finally getting one to go down. Give them a 1-point lead with 1 minute remaining. Oh. Georgia drove into a double dose of defenders there. Shot up and good. 30-30. Georgia showing Miami how to make the free throws from the line. Gets a 1-point lead back. Nice little flip up and in for Miami. Working inside. Shot clock is turned off. There's a 3 for Georgia, and they bury it. 34-32. Under 20 seconds to go. Now Miami has the opportunity to hold for the final shot of the half. 3 gives them the lead. 2 ties. They'll step back for a 3. No good. Georgia can push the pace a little bit. That's a deep 3. Off the left iron. No good. So a couple of missed shots leaves Georgia with a 2-point lead exiting the first half. Welcome back to the second half. There's no halftime show, so we get to just jump right back into it. Georgia, long 2 is up and good, so I'll push their lead to 4 right out of the locker room. Winner stays home to play Washington. That is a 3-point opportunity here. Pardon me. Nails it. There's the free throw you need to make. Miami really struggling from the line, but cap off that three-point play. 3 the hard way. Nice shot by Georgia. Pushes the lead back out to 3. Nice little fake over that shoulder. Great block by Georgia. Great block. I thought that was easy money for Miami, but it was not. Some great defensive plays in the paint by both Georgia and Miami. Solid defense on both ends of the floor here. The quick pass inside again, fakes one way, tries to come back the other way. Good defense by Miami. Excellent defense by Miami to force a turnover. They can get the lead here. They don't really have much of an opportunity at a fast break. We'll pull it out, reset, and get blocked. All right, cool, good, excellent. I'm sure the coach wrote up a play that was like, what you're gonna want to do? You want to drive it in, right? Get it right about here. Call that you're going to shoot, and then you just get absolutely annihilated by the defender. That was a wonky and weird shot. Had to wrap around the defender there, but the shot is up and good. So Miami now leads 39-38. Just about 2 minutes gone here. That's a 2. It's a 2, definitely a 2. It's harder to tell with the away team because the home team at least gets the 3. The away team gets nothing. There it is. Right on cue. Thank you, Miami. Georgia, 1-point lead. Driving it inside. Mid-range jump shot up and good. Lead back to 3 for Georgia. Shot is short. Mid-range jumper is off the right iron. Didn't really get a whole lot of mustard on or under it. There's a little bit more of a float to it. 42-39. Georgia repays Miami for all their missed free throws with a missed free throw of their own. And that second one is up and good. Miami checks the ball in. Down 4. They've been having some success down low. Just kidding. I guess I said been having, not continuing to have. That's a nice shot by Georgia. Bounced around on the rim a little bit. Wasn't sure if it was going to drop. Well, all of a sudden, it's a 6-point lead for the Bulldogs. And they'll foul Miami. Now, Miami going to the line is not the worst scenario for Georgia. For that very reason right there. Only shooting 1 for 2. 5-point lead. Shot is up and good. So 47-40. Miami struggling a little bit. They'll have to mount a decent-sized comeback here in the second half. Pass was probably a second late. Didn't really matter. He was still able to get the points in. But it definitely gave the defender time to collapse down on him. As Georgia gets hacked going to the line. Absolutely just creamed going in for a bucket. I'll put Georgia on the line for 2. 1 for 1, 2 for 2. Back up to a 7-point lead. So Miami obviously needs better defensive possessions than that. Obviously they have plenty of time as well. So that's me being the dramatic commentator. Back out for 3. Not a whole lot going on. They kept everything on the left side of the court. It's pretty crowded over there. Not a lot of space to get any sort of really good shot. Sometimes you just have to have a mascot make a play. There's Georgia running it around. That's a 3 for them, which they nail. So now the lead up to 8. Excellent run play there. Good timing on the pass. The defender was not able to get there. There was a defender that was even pretty close too, but wasn't able to affect the shot at all. Nice jam home by the University of Miami. Lead down to 6. 5.5 to go. They're going to get around the defender. Another good defensive, at least a good defensive rotation here. We'll put Georgia on the line for 2. First one up and good. Second one is short. We'll see Miami take a timeout and use a substitution here. So 5 timeouts for Miami coming down the stretch. Keep that number in mind. Or don't. I don't really care. They will need those timeouts if the game remains close. That is not what you want out of a timeout. My goodness, that was an awful pass. Good result for Miami, though. Shot up and good off the right iron. Just bump, bump. Dropped on it. And a nice play, nice offensive play by Georgia. Slice a offensive player in there and just a nice crisp pass inside. And bam. 2 points and push the lead back out. 55-48. $55-50. Deep 3 for Georgia's off the left iron, no good. Rebounded by Georgia. Got the little shot fake up, got the defender to move, and clear an easy shot for Georgia to make. Here we're rotating between like a 7-point and 5-point lead. Miami's not really making much of a dent in it, but they're making sure that Georgia's not getting too far ahead, and they'll at least have an opportunity to try to maybe think about. That's a shot that is up and good, and that pushes it back out to 7. But Miami, in all seriousness, Miami is in an opportunity, will give themselves an opportunity to close this game, get this game close towards the end here, down to a 5-point lead. 59-54, we have surpassed both of the totals for Washington and Washington State. So this will be a very interesting game for Washington, just considering how that other game went. 61-54. The other game was, what was it, 46-40? Miami able to recover the loose ball, and they're going to jam it home. Again, rotating 7, now down to 5. 3-12. 2 good defensive stands here, Miami. That's all you need. All you need. There's no one in the paint. That was way too easy. Way too easy. If I'm Georgia, just keep running that play until they stop it. Run it down their throats. Got an offensive rebound there. That was a good contested shot. Rattles around the rim and drops. 63-58. 2:40. We'll see what Miami does. They actually have a defender in the paint at the moment. Good for them. I mean, it's good offense by Georgia. I shouldn't be like pooping on Miami's defense, but nice. Oh my goodness, what a pass. Miami, there you go. There's one good defensive stop. Can you do it again? Whoa. Whipped it around the outside. Offensive rebound is not what you're looking for, but a missed shot is what you're looking for. 3-on-2 opportunity. Nobody's really fast. They had a guy wide open down in the paint. Oh my God, he could not be more open. He's covered now, but my goodness, that is a missed opportunity. Instead, they go with a much more contested shot. Ouch. That was the 2 good defensive possessions Miami needed. They did not come away with something good on the offensive end on that second one, though. There you go. Actually, the other one was, I gave up an offensive rebound. Never mind. Nice jam home by Miami. Nice jam. At a certain point, you just root for a good game, you know? You like a good comeback. You like a good comeback in like a kind of a tight scenario. Oh, over his head. He was emoting. He was like hitting the sides of his head because he was annoyed with himself, and he let the defender or the offensive player get right by him. What a huge bonehead maneuver right there. Oh my goodness. Oh no, Miami. A bad defensive possession. Okay, that one was all right. Leading to a turnover. You got a guy. Oh my gosh, the defender. In the defender's defense, he had two options and neither of them were good. But maybe one that's like slightly better would be not to just let the guy with the ball go free and clear to the hoop. All right, we are under 30 seconds to go here. Miami's defense really stepping it up. You got a guy wide open right behind you. Looks like we're going to get stuck with this. Okay, they're moving around a little bit. Running, jumping, jamming, something. That was weird. All right, 66-65. A thrilling finish awaits us here with 13.9 seconds. Miami working with a full court defense. Georgia literally throwing the ball away. No reason for that. So they're going to have to start fouling. Now, Miami has had trouble from the line. Remember that. So it's not, obviously the game's not like over or anything. So it's only a 1-point game. It's at most a 3-point game with 2 made free throws. Georgia's been good from the free throw line. 2 more opportunities to get a steal here on the inbound pass. 1-0. Okay. Miami going to the line to shoot 2. That one is good. All right. 67-65. Second one's a miss. Timeout, Georgia. Timeout, Georgia. 4 timeouts for each team. 2-point game with 9.4 remaining. Georgia has themselves to blame for this scenario. Stop. What are you doing? Oh my God. Georgia literally threw the game away. Wow. It's a roller coaster of a game. That's a deep 3 for Georgia. It's missed, but a jam home putback. All right. It's not over yet. There's 3 seconds remaining. Miami has to make 2. All right, there's 1. There's 2. Okay. Miami hit their free throws at the most important part of the game. This was a great game. This was a great game. A fantastic finish. A much better finish than the Washington State game. And that'll do it. That will do it. Georgia, 67. Miami, 71. I said that backwards. Because Lord knows it annoys me when the commentators say it. So Miami, 71. Georgia, 67. Double check in. Winner is Miami. Submit the score. And Miami will host Washington in the next game. Should be a very interesting game. Again, I know I talked about it a couple times during the game, but Miami scored a lot more points than Washington. 25 more points to be exact. 71-46 in victories. I mean, even if Georgia had played Washington or Washington State, they'd probably be moving on as well. Just a bad draw for the Bulldogs. But they really shot themselves in the foot down the stretch of that game. They threw 2 or 3 passes just out of bounds when they were within striking distance. One of those was with a 1-point deficit. And man, it was said best in chat by Harper's Ghost. That was a roller coaster of a game, and it was. I agree with them. All right, let's go to a Pac-10 team. Head on over with Oregon. and Villanova. I went the wrong way. Just wanted to check some of the other teams out. All right. Villanova Wildcats hosting the Oregon Ducks. The Oregon Ducks are one of two teams that have kind of a weird record because they missed last September's tournament because of NCAA 09 and them not being in it. So it's a little odd, but there you go. They have to go all the way across the country. That's about... Oh my goodness. That's... Fold it in half and you're looking a lot closer. All right. I don't know what that means. All-American, 10 minutes, baseline, mid, all the good stuff here for game number 3 of the day. Glad to have the Ducks back in the tournament. I like them. They look great. Green and yellow. And that's a nice easy pass inside, and they'll take an early 2-0 lead. Off to a good start. I should put all of the teams that were double zeros in one bracket. Or one chunk of the bracket. It's just like 16 of them. And it's like, who's the best double zero? It's actually not a bad idea for a hype stream tournament. Because that would be the Huskies. That'd be Villanova. That would be... There's probably a bunch of other ones. And I'm talking double zeros, not single zero, double zero. Oregon. Oh, swatted inside for Villanova. Then you could go, you could have another tournament that's best of the letters. Oregon just has an O. Oh my God, swatted away again. Oregon, get that weak stuff out of here. Oh, get that weak stuff out of here. Villanova has a taste of your own medicine, baby. Oregon leading 4-2, though the blocks are a lot more exciting. That jam home is pretty exciting. It's 37-45 on the blocks. Oregon ahead by 8. Villanova's going to need a strong second half to win the block contest. Villanova running a 3-point specialist. They'll take a deep 3 and swish it home. Oregon traveling all the way across the country to play this game. Currently 8:06 p.m. Nice shot, up and good. I think this game also, March Madness 06 has the best pacing as well. I think the timeouts are a little shorter and as far as like towards the end of the game. There is a shot that is up but no good. There's a 3 for Villanova and they nail it. Swishing it home, tying the game up at 8. It feels good to basically just be like, I can get 2 games in per hour. Even with all my talking and like nonsense in between. Feels good. Out of bounds, Villanova ball. So that'll be a turnover on the Ducks. That was a blocked ball. It's a weirdness of this game is the offensive players touching the ball out of bounds and making it a turnover when it should just be a block shot out of bounds. Really weird. Defensive foul, so the first foul on Oregon, and that will give Villanova their first lead of the game. 9-8. Rattles around the rim. 10-8. Nova. In a nice color combination game, green versus blue. Looks nice on the scoreboard. Looks good on the floor. Back outside for Oregon. Who have they have football jerseys that look a lot like a duck. They're incredible. I love them very much. Careful on that baseline out of bounds. Instead, it's going to be a little flip shot. Just got to pass the side of the backboard. Drop it home for a 10-10 game. Driving it all the way home, up and in. is Villanova. But driving it all the way home, I don't know where I was going with that. I threw is Villanova at the end of that sentence, and I confused myself. 2 quick passes inside. Layup, easy shot for Oregon, and they were just trading twos here. The winner will be on the road. 3-pointer rolls down, 15-12. They'll either be visiting North Carolina or Penn State, which would be Pennsylvania. Don't know why I looked at it and I went, I don't know what state that is. Just give up. 15-14, run another 3-point specialist there. They are absolutely, oh, that was a crushing block. Loose ball was recovered by Villanova. Villanova, real happy to shoot the 3 in this one. They've been, oh my goodness. Oh man. They've been running that play consistently, and it's been working for them. Offensive foul on Oregon will give Oregon the ball back. Or Villanova the ball back. My apologies. 3-point game. I don't know why he waited. Could have at least tried to get in, see if he could make anything happen. Instead, they'll run a 5-on-5 set. I guess 2 points either way isn't terrible. So 17-16, halfway through this first half. There's a deep 3 for Villanova. It's off the left iron, no good. Rebounded by Oregon. Push it forward. He's going to just go for it. And what's going to stop him? And that'll give Oregon the lead. So a little 4-0 run here. 3 for Villanova. They'll take that lead right back. Unafraid to shoot the 3, and Oregon just walked out of bounds. Just decided that they didn't want the ball. The nice steal there on the inbound pass. You gotta get that offensive player that was on the left side. You have to get him to cut into the basket. I know it was a dunk and everything, but oh, nice shot. Oregon and Villanova, very well matched teams here. 22-20. I mean, obviously it's hard to argue against a dunk because it's high percentage. But at the same time, like if you can get a player that's faster when you have like a 2-on-2 and the defender looks like he might take a step towards you because you have the ball, maybe doesn't see the player coming in on the side. Slice it home, man. Oregon and Villanova just trading twos here. Villanova back up by 2. Efficient offense here. I don't know if Oregon's taken a 3. Now we're trapped under the basket. Okay, you flipped it up. Wasn't a great shot there, but that's what happens when you commit a little too far under the basket. Shot is up, but no good. There's a nice little rattle around the rim. Nice turnover, and lays it up. So all of a sudden it is a 26-24 game. Oregon leading. Three for Villanova, unafraid to shoot the long ball. That'll give them their 1-point lead back. Just firing from deep. Oregon almost lost the ball there. You can kick it out for a 3. Instead, you're going to, for some reason, think that it's a good idea to go against 2 defenders. Baseball pass up forward. Nice block by Oregon. Loose ball recovered by Villanova. Passed out to a 3. No good. Blocked again after an offensive rebound. And that loose ball was recovered by Villanova. So a whole mess of action happening there. And some good defense by Oregon. But it ends up being a positive for Villanova as they score 2 points. Nice hook shot by Oregon. That's where it's like super hard to like try and commentate because I'm trying to register the information, pay attention to what's going on, and try and like relay to you. And it's like somebody blocked it, and then that other thing happened. That was another almost like out of bounds on the baseline play. But that was actually, my goodness, that was a bad pass. He was standing right there. Just like, hey, I'm open. You throw it to me. And he's like, but you're on the other team. I don't want to throw it to you. Out of bounds, Oregon ball. Oh, Oregon working with a fast-paced offense here. That's into 2 Villanova defenders. Loose ball is recovered by Oregon. Ugly pass that, goaltending is unfortunately going to work out for them. They'll probably think that it's an okay idea to try it again, which it is not. It's bad. Bad idea. 32-29. Oregon leads by 3 with a minute to go. First half of game number 3 in the first part of the round of 64. So we have still like 60 games, 61 games. Villanova got a loose ball right in that same area earlier, went for it again, but it didn't end up working out that well for them. Oregon can go for a 2-for-1. They'll get at least one more crack at it. Shot clock is off by about a second and a half, maybe. 3 for Villanova. Been cranking out those threes all game long. Oregon, on the other hand, I don't think has a single 3-point shot attempt. That one rattled around the right side of the rim and just didn't drop. Rolled around and fell the wrong way. Oregon working with a little bit of his own defense. First time we've seen one of those little alley-oop layup things. Alley layups. 5. I'll throw it deep. Caught, shot, deep 3 off the right iron. No good. So the first time we see Oregon take a 3 that I can recall, it is no good. They do lead by 3, 34-31. And I mean, even looking down the line, this is not looking good for Washington. Washington won such a sloppy game against Washington State. If they can somehow get past Miami or Georgia, Oregon or Villanova both playing very well. 34-33. Villanova got off to a positive start here in the second half. Tried to slice it back to the right, but nothing going on there. Off the left iron, no good. A little short. 2-on-1 opportunity here. Oregon with a correct decision there. Nice pass. Defender broke in just a little bit to allow the offensive player to get enough space to get a layup. There's a 3 for Villanova. They needed it to tie. They got nothing. And they will remain down 3. Oregon, flip shot, no good. Off the left iron. Villanova, working it back around the outside. Much more of a perimeter team is Villanova. That's the other kind of concern with a team like Washington moving forward. A team that didn't really want to shoot the 3. They made 2 important ones towards the end of the game, but with Villanova specifically being so willing to just pop 3s whenever, could pose problems. But that's later on down in the tournament. Right now we have a Duck slamming the ball down, just destroying the rim. 38-35. Back up to 3 for the Oregon Ducks. Inside, couldn't get it to roll the correct way. That'll be team foul number 2 on the Ducks here early in the second half. Number to keep an eye on as this continues. However, on the flip side, we could get an all-Duck matchup in the Sweet 16 with Oregon and Miami. So that's exciting. Will I play the Duck Eat Duck World song from Destroy Boys if that happens? I will try to remember. Well, I will do my best. All right, 38-37. 2 minutes gone here in the second half. Deep 2 from Villanova. Quick little 4-0 run here. Puts Villanova back in front, 39-38. That is irrelevant if that was a 2 or a 3 because it didn't go in. Nice jam home by Villanova, and they are looking good here. They were down 38-35. They are now ahead 41-38. I teased that duck-on-duck matchup, and Oregon got scared. They said, we don't really want a part of that. We're good. We're cool. But Oregon, you have to beat either Penn State or NC State. In order to even get there, that's going to be an and one opportunity for the Villanova Wildcats. Nice shot. Six-point lead now down to 4. Nice little jump shot there from Oregon. 44-40. So far we've had very good games in the tournament. Nice up and in. Villanova looking for another 3-point play. Free throw is up and good. Pardon me. And Oregon now down 7. So, oh my goodness, with a steal out of bounds. Couldn't get it to go back inside or in the court of play. Field of play doesn't make any sense because they're playing on a hardwood floor. Neither here nor there. They get a steal anyway. Up and in, and Villanova really stepping on the throttle here. Again, down 38-35. They are now up by 9. So we're looking at a 14-2 run here for the Villanova Wildcats. Nice 3 from Oregon. Slice it down to 6. No, that's not right. No, 14-2. Yeah. Yeah, that makes okay. I was like I kind of confused myself. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. Villanova with a 3 in response, and they nail it. So they'll go back up 9. Oh, a nice steal from Villanova. Villanova's decided instead of blocking shots, they're just going to steal the ball. Off the right iron, no good. Oregon, nice defensive play there. Frees them up for a 5-on-4 for a moment. That's a deep shot. Doesn't really matter what, if it was a 3 or a 2, it goes out over the backboard. So Oregon has some work to do here late in the second half. My bracket may be just annihilated by the time this first part's even done. I'm pretty sure I put Oregon pretty far ahead because I like them. That's a really unnecessarily deep 2. Wasn't really anybody to get a rebound. Somehow they did get an offensive rebound. They're now down 7. Same note I gave to Miami. You need two good defensive stops. Actually, Oregon, you might need 3. That's bad offense. Maybe Villanova got my note. Layup is up and good. So with 4:20 remaining in the second half, we have a 54-45 game. Lay back, Sean. You gotta relax. Lean on your chair a little bit. Go, oh man. That's a defensive foul. So Oregon will go to the line to shoot 2. Nice offensive rebound there. And if you're the Ducks, you really need to make that stuff. My goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oregon. So we come away with 0 points and a couple opportunities to get some points. That's going to be a 3-point. Jeez Louise. Three-point shot by Villanova, and that was a foul. That almost went in, too. Oregon, by the way, at 5 team fouls, which is not going to be great for them if it does come down to it. Means that Villanova is going to get into the bonus pretty quickly. Could see Villanova even. Oh, it's a deep three. He takes it. Doesn't make it. Oregon really struggling down the stretch here. Villanova, on the other hand, their foot is on the gas pedal. They missed a couple of shots there that were right at the rim. Shot up and good for Oregon, so a nice little layup there. Need a couple of defensive stands here. There's no way Oregon can come back. All right, we'll mark it here with the 3:08 left. Harper's ghost. Sticking a fork in the Ducks, they're done. It's all over. I agree with you. I think you're correct. 58-47, 59-47. In what was a pretty good game, Villanova has had an explosive second half. And Oregon has just absolutely collapsed down the stretch here. Again, I'll remind you, it was 38-35 in the second half. I'm not exactly sure what the time point was, but Oregon has just gotten clobbered. Villanova's coming up on 30 points in this half, and there's still 2.5 to go. It's like I believe that was a 3. Indeed was a 3. So down to 11. Oregon need more steals like that. Good effort. Oregon needs about 17 good defensive stands here. I mean, realistically, they have 1 minute to cut this down to a 2-score game. 5 points. They can't give up points like that deep into the shot clock like that. Straightaway 3 off the right iron, no good. We might see the first team to just go, you know what, we're good. Normally about the minute mark is when we start to see the fouls come in. But Oregon has just been so thoroughly outplayed here in the second half. They are down 15, and it is somehow looking worse than it did moments ago. So Oregon's going to have a short trip out to the East Coast. They won't have to stay for more. 3 is good. Still 12 points. Not a whole lot they can do here. They need way too much help and not enough time. Nova with a 3 off the right iron, no good. Oregon's got to push the pace here. Nice jam there. Down to 10. They will start to foul. They'll immediately go to the line. So Oregon had racked up a bunch of fouls earlier in the half. But I don't expect to see Oregon try much. I mean, that definitely helps. 11-point game, 66-55. See what they do here. They have to go quickly. Not always this game's strong suit. There they go. Just gotta take it. You don't have time for this. You have to take it. Take the 3. Good defense here by Villanova. Up 11. Shot was short, and we'll see Oregon go ahead and pull away. Not worry about coming on back on this one. So I will hold. We'll double check it here in just a second. Or 15, I should say. But it is 66-55. Oregon had a terrible second half. Nova really cruising and giving the Ducks quite the bruising. So we'll see Oregon in March. Maybe it's a good thing they missed the last September tournament. 55-66 is our score. Villanova is the winner. And Villanova moves on. They will head to either NC State or Penn State. One of those two teams. Check the stats. First half. Yeah, that tells you the story right there. 34-31 at halftime. Villanova scored 35 and Oregon only scored 21. So we'll see you in March, Oregon. Thanks for playing. Villanova, we'll see you in part 5. All right, let's wrap up the first half of action. We have Penn State and NC State. This one's nice and easy to get to because both of them are at the beginning of their respective letters. Penn State has a weird looking mascot because it looks like the shirt only comes up to his shoulders, like right here, but it's actually just because his mask is like really big. It's very odd, his headpiece. Real weird. Here we go. Penn State's never won. And NC State is 2-3, and they've never made it out of the round of 32. So let's jump on in here. Staying on the East Coast. It is on All-American difficulty. It is 10-minute halves. And, yeah. 3 games in, and my bracket is, I'm assuming, just destroyed. We'll update you on the brackets after this game. Then we'll take a quick break, and then we'll be back with the back half of the games. Again, right above me. I'm pretty sure I pointed the wrong side. Right above me, that is your list of who's playing today. So you can see we have Duke and Boston College, Wisconsin. Big game. That's an important game for me, for my bracket. And we're ending with the most recent champion playing against Syracuse, the very popular Orange. There is a whole mess of stuff happening down below. The point is, NC State came away with 3 points. Penn State getting blocked. It's going to go out of bounds. It will be Penn State ball. Got blocked again. Went back a second time. 1 second, said, you can't do this twice. And yet again, we have another foul on Penn State. Where are you? There you go. Free throw is up and good. So Penn State trailing 6-3 in North Carolina. Game number 4 here. Round of 64, part 1. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Hopefully you're enjoying so far. We've had some really good games. So far, the best game has been Miami and Georgia. That was an excellent game. The first half of the last game was pretty good. This one, and then the second half, it was just all Villanova domination. And right here we have NC State getting off to a fast start against the Penn State Nittany Lions. Nittany Lions never won. There's a 3 for North Carolina State, and they are quickly off to a 12-3 lead and really starting to show why NC State is 0-3. Maybe Penn State declines the invitation next time. Goes, hey, you know what? We're good. We've been in 4 of them. We have lost 4 times. Give it to somebody else. Another 3 attempts for NC State, that one just a little too strong. Quick passes inside, gets stripped away and stolen by NC State. Hard to believe that Penn State was actually leading at one point in this game. Deep 2 is up and good, so now an 11-point lead. We'll see Penn State take a very early timeout. Very early. 14-3. My blowout book is all the way over there. But it might come in handy here. That is not how you want to exit a timeout. You throw the ball way too far down the court for no reason. It bounces off an offensive player and it gets turned over. So NC State, opportunity to really add to this lead. Crush it home here. Flipped up, no good. Rebound, Penn State. Shot is up and good. 14-5. That's what we're looking at now. 3 for NC State is good. They are on fire from downtown. Could get a very exciting 3-point focused contest if NC State holds on here while facing Villanova. 2 teams that are just not afraid to shoot threes at all. Penn State trying to get in on the action, but they miss. Get the offensive rebound, and then the putback is still not there either. So a 12-point game, 3.5 minutes in. There's a 3. It's short off the left iron. Penn State running it ahead. Good decision to pull back. It was a 1-on-2 at best, and just didn't really worry about it. I read PSU and was like, PlayStation University. Penn State closing it down to double digits. Or 10, I should say. They've been stuck at double digits for a while. That's the problem. Back outside. Working it around the 3-point line. Driving in. Was maybe not the best option for North Carolina State. Fade away for Penn State. NC State getting back in there, pushing that lead back out to 10. So it was, what, 12-3, 14-3? Penn State closing it back down to 8. NC State nearly ran it out of bounds, though. We'll get a replay here. Nice up and in. North Carolina State up 21-11. Obviously don't count out the Nittany Lions yet, but maybe do because they haven't really shown anything. It's a deep shot. That's a 3-pointer that's up and good. So 21-14. Football score. Something Penn State's much more comfortable with. Football rather than basketball. They're known as a football school. This is not always in the best of lights. Just, point that out. They had a shitty coach. He was shitty. People got mad when they took his statue down, and they deservedly took his statue down. Anyway, 23-14. Now 23-16. So we're getting Penn State to get a little bit of life coming out here in the back half of the first half. Have an issue out here. Kind of just stuck. 23-16 is the score. Under 4 to go. There's a deep 2. That's usually what happens. We saw a shot clock violation happen in one of the earlier games. That time, that's normally what happens. About 3 seconds to see him line up and get a shot up. It's usually good, which is one of the more interesting parts about it. Is it's just they usually make it. Penn State gets fouled, so they'll go to the line for 2. First team foul on NC State, coming at the 3:33 remaining mark. So I guess it'd be the 6:47 mark. It's always weird because like hockey always is like, jeez, why? There'll be like penalty at the 15:35 mark, but that means that there's only like 4 minutes and 25 seconds left. But importantly, the point of that is that they haven't been fouling. It hasn't negatively affected them. Penn State deep 2 off the left iron, no good. So it still remains a 7-point game. Passing up to the left. There's a 3 for NC State off the right iron, no good. They've gone a little colder from beyond the arc. There's a 3 for Penn State, and that one misses the mark, but the putback is good. So we'll look at a 5-point game with 2:42 remaining in this first half. Penn State, who I was kind of counting out and worried because my book was all the way across the room, making the game a little more interesting as the first half winds down. Winner stays home to play a very potent Villanova team. Dispatched Oregon. Penn State couldn't get their defense in position there to block the shot. NC State with a nice baseball pass ahead to quickly get it to the man in the basket. Make a nice easy shot. Weaving through traffic. Fadeaway is no good. Not great defense there from Penn State, and the lead all of a sudden out to 11. Got it as close as, 5? NC State on a little bit of a run here, making it 31-20. It's something that I go back, I talk about it a lot, especially in games like this, where Penn State had such a mountain to climb that they have to keep that momentum going, stay hot, while NC State can afford to go cold for a little bit and get back into a rhythm. Penn State had a lot to do for themselves to put themselves back in this game. They did it, gave themselves opportunity, but they've gone cold, and a bad turnover like that never helps. And it is now 13 points in NC State's favor. So 33-20. There's a deep 3 for Penn State. That's off the left iron, no good. NC State with a rebound. 1-on-2 opportunity here. Swivels it around in his hands, can't get it, got his own rebound. Putback is no good. That's a and one opportunity here for Penn State. Working with that little... Okay, that was the replay. All right. A little quick pass inside. It was effective. 3-point play is completed. Careful on the peel back. That's a deep 2. It's off the right iron, no good, but the offensive rebound is acquired by the North Carolina State Wolves. I can't remember. Shot up and good, so 33-26. Shot clock turned off. NC State could hold it. Wolfpack. It is the Wolfpack. Okay. I said that like someone told me. I just remembered. My brain told me. Okay, NC State on defense now because Penn State had a nice little takeaway there. Shot inside is blocked. Stripped away, North Carolina State. Penn State just, they get on a run and they just can't capitalize. That's a 3 from NC State, and that'll be good, and that'll push the lead to 10 right at halftime. So a 36-26 game here. NC State gets the ball back, which I'm sure is good news for them. We've seen it as close as 5. And they whittled it down to 6 right before half, but NC State brought on a barrage of points, and now they're up 11. Now 12. And that's a quick foul on Penn State. NC State's going to work with a full court press. That's a 3. Oh my goodness. Just an absolute dagger right there. My God. Hey, we're already up 12. We're going to full court press you into a turnover and then just immediately fire a three. 41-26. Nice steal by Penn State. Baseball pass up front, or up to the front court. Trying to get something, just an easy look, get them into a little bit of a rhythm. Three for NC State is off the back iron, no good. And a nice fast break for Penn State. Cuts it down to 13 points. So 41-28. It's a quick pass inside. Pushes it back out to 15. 43-28. NC State responds. So deep two for Penn State. Rattled around the rim a little bit and just couldn't get anything going there. Oh my goodness. Stolen away. Penn State. So some lazy passes by NC State have given Penn State a little bit of a opportunity to do something offensively. They're not capitalizing on their free throws though. And the shot is up and good. So 43-29. 8:20 remaining, second half. Nice inside pass there for North Carolina State. And I think this is their newest, largest lead. 45-29, 16 sounds about right. Penn State's got to get this down to 8 by the 4-minute mark. That's not a good start. Not a great start. Three for NC State, up no good. That was a 3 for Penn State. I had to do the math in my head. I looked at it and I squinted my eyes to focus and I was like, down to 13. Three minutes for Penn State to get it down to 6. 6 to 8. Somewhere in there. Maybe 7. Maybe just call it 7. And then from there, you need to whittle it down to a 1-possession game. Maybe 3 to 4 by the time the foul stuff would come into play. Have it down to 12 here. Got to come up with the defensive rebounds there, Penn State. That's an extra offensive possession. That pushes it back out to 14. Penn State with a great opportunity, but just can't capitalize on NC State's misses. And there's an offensive rebound for them. It's going to go up and in. So back to 12. Kind of just working that. 14 to 12, 14 to 12. Nearly a steal there. 3 is off, no good. This is a good opportunity for Penn State to come away with points. That's out of bounds. That just got absolutely destroyed. Just annihilated. Wiped the feet of their favorite blocker. Penn State working it around the 3-point line. Deficit at 12. Deep 2 is no good, but an offensive rebound is helpful. Shot was affected. They got 3 opportunities and came away with nothing. And now NC State's on a fast break. That'll be put up and off the right side of the rim, so it's no good. And that was an excellent example of why Penn State is down by 12. 3 opportunities at point-blank range and just not taking advantage of NC State's misfires. 10-point game. Like I said, about Three is up, and it's good. I was going to say that they needed to get it down to 7 here in the next minute or so. And that seemed a lot more doable until NC State hit that 3. Foul on number 40. So it'll be team foul number 2 for North Carolina State. Penn State will go to the line. Misses the first one. Second one is good. .52-40. Nice steal by Penn State. Good defensive recovery by NC State. That's a missed shot. Couldn't tell if it was going to be a 2 or a 3. Was waiting to double check it on the score, but it didn't matter because they didn't make it. It kind of looks like that'll be about as close as Penn State is going to get. Had it at 5, had it down to 6. Even the block shots are going NC State's way. Loose ball right back to him, puts up the shot, and nails it. It's up to 14 now. Off the backboard, out of bounds, NC State ball. That's a turnover because I'm pretty sure he shot it, threw it into the side of the backboard, and then it bounced back and hit him while he was standing out of bounds. Running around for a 3. A little too deep for him. Penn State gets the ball loose, but out of bounds. So it'll stay NC State's ball. Whipping around the court. Baseline, a dangerous area to be farting around. Stolen away by Penn State. 3-on-1 opportunity. The defender made an excellent play there. I know he got the goaltend, but he made the correct defensive move. He moved before the Penn State offensive player made the decision and guessed correctly. It did end up being a goaltend, which isn't great, but still a good move on his part. All right. And next will happen. Jeez Louise. Jeez Louise. That was just the weakest shot. Look at he's just going to come up like, oh, don't worry, I'm just going to... No, you're not. Get that out of here. Get that out of here. Come on. Penn State does retain possession of the ball, though. Nice quick inside pass in the paint. NC State, their lead down to 10 now. Penn State's going to need 3 good defensive possessions. Cut it down to 5. 4 or 5 maybe. That's not going to help. Well, a miss helps. A miss helps. But them being so willing to just jack up 3s. That's a 3 for Penn State if it goes. It doesn't, but the offensive rebound doesn't go either. And yet again, Penn State unable to take advantage of the mistakes of the NC State Wolfpack. Nice block there. That was a good block. It went right back into the offensive player for NC State and results in a turnover, Penn State ball. 2:26 remaining here, second half. There's a deep shot off the left iron, no good. Offensive rebound, they can't get it. That's the second time we've seen that. I believe that's on back-to-back Penn State possessions. Of a 3, no good. And then offensive rebound, it just won't go. NC State, though, remains warm from beyond the arc and pushes their lead out to 13. It was definitely a blowout book-worthy game. The only reason I don't have it is because it's in a box that I forgot to pick up. I was washing my hair in the shower, and I was like, hey, you should get your blowout book. Make sure that you have it. And then I forgot. But more importantly, I remembered to change the aspect ratio of the capture card. So one way or the other. But I'll grab it here in about a minute and 28 seconds. Go down and get a fresh cold water that's in the fridge. And we'll power through the rest of these games as they play catch in front of the Nittany Lions. The 10-point lead in 1 minute and 11 seconds to go. The 3 is up. It's no good. Penn State was never really in it. They got it down to 5 at one point. I believe 25-20. I think they had it down to 6 in the second half. And they just could not get over that hump. For some reason, they're fouling. I guess technically, okay, it is 8 points. I closed my eyes because I was doing that bit about washing my hair, and I apparently Penn State did something, maybe? I don't know. That's good commentary. That's solid commentary. That's why you come to twitch.tv/SeanSourceRex. You go, at some point, he's just not going to know what's happening in the game. Because he'll do some dumb joke. Alright. Penn State taking a timeout. 59-49. Off the rim, no good. We'll see Penn State back off here. We'll get things ready to update the bracket. Shot clock is still going, so Penn State will get at least another opportunity, or NC State can just, well, yeah, Penn State will get another opportunity. Nope. Have that ready to roll. We'll see if they bother to take a shot. They sure will. Jack up a 3. Kind of a middle finger into the face of Penn State, who will take a 3. That's nowhere near making the basket. Penn State 49, NC State 59. The winner is NC State. Submit the old score. NC State will stay home to, or head home. No, stay home. They were the home team. They'll stay home to face Villanova team. A Villanova team that likes to shoot threes as well. I forgot where I was going with that. I hit a burp and then I got distracted. Okay. Next up here, we have Duke, former champion Duke, and Boston College. The face when you realize you guessed Oregon would go far. I'm right there with you. I don't know how far you put them, but I put them pretty deep in the tournament. Maybe not as deep as I think, but yeah, that sucks. That sucks. Speaking of brackets, let's get you caught up here as soon as my mouse wants to not be a pain in my butt. We'll get you caught up here, then we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back. So we have 5 people that submitted brackets. So thank you, everybody, for submitting. I appreciate it. Hopefully you have as much fun as I do. We have a good variety of champion picks. We do have a duplicate champion. But we have the Beeb. We have blind guesses brought to you by Harper. We have Redneck Girl. We have Wintersaurus Rex. And then we have It's a Guessing Game. And that is read in order of the standings. Right now we have the Beeb's predictions and blind guesses. They are in first with 3 points each. Redneck Girl is in third with 2 points. I am in fourth with 2 points. And It's a Guessing Game, unfortunately, has not picked one correctly yet. So, a rough start, but that's okay, because the points amplify or grow as the tournament gets deeper. So if you can get 1 or 2 teams into the kind of Elite 8 Final 4 area, get some early eliminations for other people, you'll be in good position. Remember, winner wins a gift sub to twitch.tv/SeanSourceRex. We have 4 more games for you coming on up here, starting with Duke and Boston College. They're right above me. If you're curious about the order or who is playing, the Minnesota-Wisconsin game I am excited about, and I'm also excited about Louisville and Syracuse. So we have a couple of good games coming up in the back half of day number 1. So stick around for more basketball action. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody, to September Mascot Madness 2. This is the round of 64, part 1. And we have 4 more games for you today, starting with Duke, a former champion, taking on Boston College. We're all caught up on the brackets and the standings, all that good stuff. So go ahead and jump on in here. All-American, 10 minutes. Baseline mid is the camera that I use. Here we go. Game number 5. Got a fresh, cold water. And here we go. Tip is won by Duke. They won the very first mascot tournament. They defeated Alabama in the final, which was unfortunate because I picked Alabama to win, I believe. I think I did. Maybe I put them in the final but picked Washington State. It's not like I could look or anything because all the predictions and stuff are still saved from that. But Duke hasn't done a ton since, really quickly. Duke is 7-2. They won the first one, and I don't think they made it out of the second or the first round in the last 2. They're off to a good start here, 4-0 up over Boston College, who has a record of 1-3, and they only won their first game ever in this tournament, and then said, you know what, we don't want to do that anymore. Step back 3 there for Boston College. That'll cut the lead to 1. Duke Blue Devils called enough of their games. But it is interesting to look at them and go, oh, they were 6-0, won the tournament. Oh, so I guess they've lost. They won one more game somewhere in there, and then haven't really made it far since. So we'll see what they can do here, up 3. We have some good matchups coming up during the rest of the tournament, rest of the stream, I should say. Wisconsin, Minnesota, Michigan State, Oklahoma, and Louisville, Syracuse. Yeah. We have 3 teams that have never won, and they have, so far, 2 of them have lost. We have 1 more coming up here in a little bit. Boston College with a nice steal there. Going on inside, nice flip and make. I believe this is an ACC matchup, because Duke is in the ACC, I believe. 3 for Duke is good, so 9-5. Dolly Parton singing about that. Working 9 to 5. Boston College working it inside. Little flip doesn't work that time. A little off-balance shot. It remains that score. We have some kind of countdown happening in the corner. Went away. Duke misses the 3, but able to get the offensive rebound and then defensively fouled. So small forward number 5 picks up his 2nd personal. Would not be surprised to see him subbed out here at the change of possession. Because even though it is mascots, they do... the foul stuff does matter. So they will sub him out. No, come on down. So here we go, 10-5. 2.5 minutes gone in this one. Feeling good. Sitting currently in 4th place. Big loser. My bracket. God. I put Washington State so far in my bracket, and they lost immediately. I'm pretty sure I had Oregon going pretty far as well. but that's okay. Plenty of tournament left. We have 60 games remaining, though the third place game does not get picked. So, actually, make sure that I'm on the bracket screen as Duke makes another basket. They play a full court defense. They play more of a full court press. We should have. Yes, we do. We have a bronze match, so just no one gets to pick that. So technically, there are 63 games that you pick, and then one that's just a bonus to make it nice and even. Because I know it would bother me that there would only be 63 games. Which I guess technically you could do 7 parts of 9 games, but that doesn't make any sense. Then everything's all weird and wonky. But 8 and 8 and all that good evenness. I'd actually never thought about it that way until I just said it. Like, you could do 9. Nice shot up and in for Boston College. Going to get fouled as well. So he'll go to the line to complete the 3-point play. Hopefully cut this lead down to 1 for Boston College. They do successfully. He flaps his wings in celebration and almost gets a steal. Another Eagle almost gets a steal. Out of bounds. Remains Duke's ball. Shocking number of mascots have capes in this tournament, including Duke, Dayton, and Tulsa. Some teams we'll see, a couple of teams we'll see later on in the tournament. 3 for Boston College is up and good, and we are knotted up at 14, 4 minutes into the game. Duke running around for a 3 of their own. They'll be no good off the back iron. Boston College opportunity to run out front. Great recovery defense by Duke. Instead throws to a player who is defended by 2 Blue Devils. And somehow they got the offensive rebound, which is good. Oh, nice inside pass. That was way too easy for the Blue Devils. Too easy. As we see that full court defense. Maybe it's not a full court press. Seems like they're more aggressive with their full court defense. But maybe it's a full court trap is kind of what I'm thinking of. Maybe there's 3 differences. Nice 3 by Boston College. Puts them up 19-16. Where like some teams run full court defense, but they don't really guard you that hard. Other teams like Duke here is running a full court defense, but they're really pressing you with 1 player. And then some teams like Louisville, who we'll see at the end of the day, they run a full court like trap where they're running 2 players against you and they're trying to get you to throw it away, just like Boston College did right there. It's going to lead to an easy transition bucket, except for he missed it. Just make it next time, forehead. Not that hard. Put the ball in the basket, buddy. I'm shocked that did not go down. We saw NC State steal an inbound pass and immediately shoot a 3 and just bury it. Duke out to run. Defensive foul, Duke ball. So that'll be team foul number 3 for the Boston College. Golden Eagles? No, I think they're just the regular Eagles. I don't know. Marquette's the Golden Eagles. Shocking number of teams have the word golden in their nickname and capes. One of them has both. Golden Hurricanes, and I have a cape. I also did not grab my blowout book. Went downstairs, got distracted with what my brother was watching. He asked me to grab him a seltzer water thing. I didn't know what that meant. I was confused. So when I asked him, I was like, do you want this? And he's like, surprise me. And I'm like, okay, this one's the one you're going to get because I don't know what else you could possibly want. Shot is up and good. So Duke and Boston College are giving us our first 23-19 game here. Orange sock. Or white sock, sorry, white sock. I was thinking of George's colors. He's a very nice orange and yellow. It's a white sock. I said orange sock, and I went, orange is not the 23rd letter of the alphabet, but alright. Orange, also not a letter of the alphabet. O is, good God, it's all coming apart. We're 4 games in. There's 60 games left. Well, 59 and a half now. 25-21. Duke is leading. Got a wide open shooter out there on the three-point line in the corner. Couldn't get the ball to drop. Otherwise, it would have been an opportunity for a three-point play. Instead, it'll just be 2 free throws from the line. Second shot is up and good. Hopefully, fingers crossed. We don't really need the blowout book. We already did technically need it because that last game was not great. Plus, I just want to read it. I've been holding it. I've been holding off on reading it. I'm like, don't spoil yourself. Experience it with Twitch. It's like, just read a book, Sean. Read a book about Star Trek and the X-Men teaming up. It's your literal dream. Probably wrote fan fiction about it when you were a kid. 3. Well, I made fan fiction, technically. Technically, I did write fan fiction as a child. Because that would be like, if you take the broad stroke terms of fan fiction and apply it to action figures. If fan fiction is just creating a story based on characters that are already established, which is what I think of when I think of fan fiction, then I did that all the time as a kid. I'm sure Cyclops and Geordie LaForge teamed up plenty because I had several action figures of them each. Which is why I like sometimes like you get kids for like or gifts for like nieces and nephews and like get them an action figure. Like, do they already have one? I'm like, I had plenty of the same character. You're telling me kids can't come up with some multiverse concept? Get out of here. Anyway, we have a 30-28 game here. This one's the best game just because of the commentary. Oh my God, what an incredible block by that Eagle. Caw-caw! Like that. Slid inside. Couldn't get anything to go there. A lot of Blue Devils in there. Oh, I should put the Blue Devils and the Sun Devils against each other. The 6-6-6 matchup. Then, in order to cleanse our souls, we play Larry Boy afterwards. Oh, that's a bad shot. That was a really bad shot. That was also not a great shot. Boston College had it down to a 2-point deficit. Now it's 4. They've had a couple of bad offensive possessions here. Probably a lot more hand-picked matchups that I could do. Oh, Boston College nearly ran it out of bounds. No go for Duke on the offensive end. Boston College comes away with it down 4. 38 seconds remaining here, first half. Haven't really talked much about the game. Just been off on tangents throughout. Which I had these tangents in the last game when there was nothing else going on. This one's actually a good game, and I'm like, hey, whatever. Who cares? Shot clock is off. Blue Devils stepped out of bounds. Out of bounds. So, a turnover is going to lead to an opportunity for Boston College to slice it inside and tie the game. I was going to say tie the game with a 2, take the lead with a 3. They opted for the tie. Duke is going to jack up a 3 here, and they will not make it. So a rebound for Boston College. That ball was not even close. We'll wait for that Eagle, apparently. So here we go. Half number 2, game number 5 of the day. 32-32. All knotted up at halftime. The sooner the Blue Devils get eliminated, the better. Not necessarily against them, but they've already won. They've already won a title. You know, just quit. You have one title, forehead. You don't need another one. Could you imagine if someone put that as a comment on like, hey, you already won one Fall Guys match, Sean. You don't need any more. And I go, are you kidding me? I need all the Fall Guys titles I can get. And then you get screwed because somebody cheats in the PlayStation 4 version, and you're like, oh, that was a really good run. That was like a really good one. Cool, thanks. EA Sports, it's in the game. Maybe the host should pay attention to the game. All right, about 1 minute gone here in the second half. Boston College has a 1-point lead, 36-35. As a foul on Boston College, the first of half number 2. And Duke misses the first shot. That one to tie, nothing. 0 for 2 for Duke from the line. Wow. #1 team in the country, am I right? It doesn't matter because it's mascots. And they are not the #1 mascot in the country. They're arguably the worst mascot in this tournament. I was going to say in the game, but I refused to put one of the mascots in there because I hate them so much. Which is weird because they are integral into the creation of my favorite football team, the Green Bay Packers. But that is a point for another day. Here we have Duke up 1. Boston College going for 3. Nothing. Probably a little too deep on that one. Probably needed to take another step closer. Who does he think he is? Steph Curry? I don't know if they knew who Steph Curry was in 2005, but I believe Steph Curry's incredible run was 2008 with Davidson. Nice jam inside for Boston College. Cut that lead back down to 1. I think moving forward, I think it's going to be interesting to see how many more teams, or how many teams kind of just in general. 3 is up and no good. Duke gets the rebound. How many more teams that lose score more points than Washington did when they won? So far, it's been every team that's lost has scored more points than Washington, and they won. Yeah, that is one of them by quite a bit, one of them by not that many, but I think that's interesting. And I'm super curious to see how that continues through how Washington's path continues through. You'd really think this game was a blowout. It's a 2-point game, and I'm just not talking about the game. I was just thinking about it because these games have been so much more high scoring than that first game was. It was still a good game. It just wasn't it wasn't a 40-40 tie. It was just this slugfest of teams that did not want to take threes and ended up getting blocked or contested a lot inside. Here we have Duke doing the opposite and burying a 3 to give them a 3-point lead, 43-40. This is going to go down as one of the greatest games of the tournament, and then people are going to watch and be like, why is he not paying attention to the game? He is off on some tangent talking about Cyclops action figures, and I don't understand why. Shot is up and good, so Boston College cutting it back down to 1. Part of me is like, wow, that's the charm of twitch.tv/SeanOsaurusRex, and part of it's like, yeah, I can understand how that's annoying. Shot is up and good, so Duke and Boston College here trading 2s. Switching between a 3-point and a 1-point Duke lead. Duke doesn't seem like they've been as consistent with their full court defense. Boston College for a 3, buries it, and now we are all tied at 45. Keep in mind, Washington scored 46 points in a win, and both of these teams will eclipse that within 15 total minutes of game time. Throwing it out to Duke. The Blue Devil missed the shot. That was a contested layup. Didn't look good. Hard to tell if it was blocked or stripped or what. Boston College stepped out of bounds. I couldn't even get the sentence out. So we've seen Duke do that once. We've seen Boston College do that once. So that at least is even. And just like the score, 45-45. Duke faked the 3. Looking towards that sideline. Got to be careful. Tried to drive it inside. Lazy pass gets picked off by Boston College. Baseball pass gets up the floor quickly and efficiently. And we are up to a 47-45 Boston College lead. Stripped away by Boston College. Should have just been a strip and remain Duke's ball. But again, that weirdness with the AI trying to go for so many out of bounds plays is leading to a lot of turnovers that probably shouldn't have been turnovers. Boston College with a nice easy bucket there. Duke for 3, nailed it. So 49-48. Boston College with the lead. They are at home. and they'll have to go on the road to face either Wisconsin or Minnesota. So they'll go up to a cold, because basketball's played in the winter, they'll go up to a cold, unreceptive, wintry Midwest wonderland. 52-48, under 4 to go. 4-point lead for Boston College. They chipped it away. They've never really been terribly out of this game. It rolled in. That bounced all around. That was a very Kawhi Leonard play. Just hung out on the rim for a while. Duke shoots a 3, but it's no good. Boston College really taking over this second half here. I believe it was tied at halftime. Is that correct? But ever since I said that was about the 5:45 mark, I said both of these teams will eclipse 46 points. Duke has really struggled. Because it was 45-45 right then and there, and since that part, which was about 3 minutes, Boston College has gone on a 14-5 run. They are now up 9, and we might see a former champion eliminated very early. If you take out the tournament where Duke went 6-0-1, they are 1-2 in the previous 2 tournaments. Their record isn't great. It's really weird. Also weird to me was the North Carolina record as well. They're like 1-3, which is surprising because I figured North Carolina would be more of a power. I guess you just kind of get used to the tournaments. If you pay any sort of attention to them, you get used to Duke and North Carolina playing well. So you go, okay, well that obviously makes sense for the mascots. But that's what makes these so fun. Just because they're number 1 doesn't mean they're clobbering everyone in their path. They steal there by the Blue Devils. It's going to be a defensive foul, and that's going to be an injury to shooting guard number 21. He'll have to hobble over to the bench. We'll get one of those intense shots. Sports injuries are never funny, but when mascots get injured, it's hilarious. Shot is missed, so it's a 7-point game now. 59-52, and then 2 free throws are both missed, giving Boston College a pretty good opportunity for a fast break. Shooting it into a double team was a very bad idea. Did get blocked and pushed out of bounds, so it will remain Boston College ball. They have no reason to really rush it here. They have 24 seconds on the shot clock. They have 2 minutes remaining in this game, and they have a 7-point lead on the Duke Blue Devils, who really, they were in control. It was at least tight for most of the game, but about the 5.5 minute mark of the second half, it really shifted in Boston College's favor. We're now up 9 and looking for a defensive rebound they can't get. It's going to be a goaltend. Ewell came in for a swooping block, but instead the ball was on a downward projection, so it's a goaltend. Oh, that was a wide open lane that you had. Boston College has really spread out the Duke Blue Devils, playing very perimeter game here. There's just no one in the paint. Number 21 has a leg injury, will be out for the game. You have to get a little bit closer here. You're going to have to jack up a 3. It's a fadeaway 2, actually. It's off the left iron. It is no good. So we have a 7-point game here as we approach 1 minute to go. Expect to see Duke start doing some fouls. It's going to be off the front iron, no good, but an offensive rebound leads to a block. And that weird play where the offensive player just gets too far under the basket and tries to flip it backwards. It goes into the back of the backboard, so that'll be out of bounds. So Duke unable to take advantage of the deep shot clock shot that missed. Had a couple offensive rebounds. And not able to put any points on the board and draw this a little bit closer. Boston College, on the other hand, just taking the fouls here. That will be number 6. This should be number 7. There it is. So we'll get free throws. 1-1. That's good news for Duke. They'll take a timeout. Kind of surprised they took a timeout right there. 49.7 seconds. Maybe at least try and get the ball across the half court. Try and drop a play. All right. Cool. Good. Excellent. I'm sure that's exactly what the coach drew up. When you get to half court, just throw it to the other team. We don't want to win this game. Boston College making the 2 free throws that count. And it's really going to sting that Duke didn't do anything with that first miss. That was their opportunity. That was their chance to get something going. They literally threw it away. So here we go. Under 40 seconds to go. 63-54. Looks like it's going to be Boston College's day here. That is the 5th team foul on Boston College. Duke will miss another free throw. That's a huge storyline as well. I'm not giving it enough attention. Duke has been terrible from the free throw line. Awful. The entire game. We'll see them do another foul here. Boston College hasn't been the best, but they have also not been Duke terrible. So I guess you just kind of take it. And much like Miami a couple of games ago, who Miami seemed to struggle from the free throw line a little bit, when it came down to crunch time and when it came down to putting the game away, they really hit their free throws. They also watched Georgia throw the game away. So that was interesting. All right. This should about do it. 10 points with about 21 seconds remaining. We will see Duke exit this game, this tournament. I thought he was going to just run out of bounds. I also thought maybe he would just try and get a basket. We'll go ahead and write it in here. 57-65 for the Boston College Eagles to advance into the second round. They will travel to go see Minnesota or Wisconsin. If an away team could win, that'd be real great. That's so bad. We're 5 games in and an away team has not won. Duke, though, did score more points than Washington, who won their game. So Washington so far the biggest beneficiary of just getting a matchup that works for them. 65-57 is your score. Boston College. We have Wisconsin and Minnesota. Hang on. I'm curious about something. While my mouse decides not to work. Let's get this next match set up. Wisconsin is visiting Minnesota. Wisconsin. Minnesota. We'll see Michigan State in the next game. Challenge. September. Oh, I need to look at the other one. Hold on. Well, no, I know an away team won because, okay, we saw some away teams win. All right, cool. Just double checking. It's just making sure. We did see away teams win because Washington beat Washington State. So, God. Fluff. What's going on with my mouse? It's just not working. I need you to work. I have important work to do. September Mascot Madness II. How's that a bad gateway? You were literally just looking at it. There we go. All right. Game number 6. We'll re-intro this just in case it's a good game. One of the best games. Game number 6 features Wisconsin taking on Minnesota. This is a game that I was actually debating putting in anyway, like hand-picked matchups, because I really like the way this looks. And I like I believe it's the Battle for Paul Bunyan's Axe is the rivalry. But I didn't pick it for whatever reason. And then the randomizer gods gave it to us anyway. So here we have Wisconsin, and Minnesota. We are in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We're on All-American. We're on 10 minutes. And here we go. I believe this is a pretty important game for my bracket because I do believe I have Wisconsin going pretty far. So, yeah. Hopefully they win. I've already been destroyed in one aspect of it, Washington State. Maybe not getting destroyed in two would be great. All right, Wisconsin wins the tip. I love the Golden Gophers court. I love the color. Looks great. Big fan of the logo in the middle. Oh, here we have another 0-0 team. So we have Villanova, Minnesota so far. I don't know if I missed any of the other, if any of the other teams had them. I don't think Duke, well, Duke doesn't have a number because he wears a cape. Wisconsin way off on the 3. And everybody else was way off on the rebound. So not the cleanest start here. That one's off. That one also is off. The tip in doesn't go. Finally, Minnesota gets on the board. 2-0. 50 seconds gone. Flipping it around to Bucky Badger. That buries it deep 2. Pardon me. Minnesota inside scores in the paint, and we have a 4-2 Minnesota lead. Winner stays home to face off against Boston College, who was eliminated Duke, the champion, first champion. So one former champion down, 3 to go, or 2 to go. Excuse me. Arizona State and Louisville. Louisville we'll see later today. Arizona State, I believe, is much deeper in the tournament, or in the first round, rather. It's going to be a foul on Bucky Badger. And we have another... Oh, I guess Wisconsin doesn't really have a tail. That's another foul on Wisconsin. That's 2 fouls just immediately, and they're both on that one guy. So we might see shooting guard number 42 come out at the change of possession, depending on whether they make it or not. All right, we'll see small guard 42 come out. Number 3 coming in. Here's a little bit more of a full court press from Minnesota, and that's exactly what they want to see. Now, the danger with that, and I don't know if it's just this game, out of bounds, Wisconsin ball. The danger is Minnesota had a player that was kind of moving back and forth, waiting for the up-court pass. The problem is they end up standing on that mid-court line, and sometimes you'll see them intercept it and get a backcourt violation immediately. So something to keep an eye out for if Minnesota continues in that defensive style. Takes a step forward and makes that step count and buries the 3 as they walk out of bounds backwards. Looking like me on a basketball court, just wandering backwards into stuff. I don't know. Whatever. You look out for me, okay? That's how this works. And we have another foul. This one on Minnesota. So Wisconsin will shoot 2. Makes 1, misses the second. 10-7. So 3-point game here in a Big Ten matchup. First round of September Mascot Madness II. Swinging it around outside. Minnesota working inside. A lot of Badgers hanging out in the paint. Now they start to spread more towards the 3-point line. Try to get them to go with a shot fake. Here we have another. So we have a 0-0 team versus a team with a letter on their chest. So that's good. These are each participants in styles of tournaments in the future, maybe. Wisconsin scores 2, cuts the lead down to 1. 10-9. Oh, nice steal by Wisconsin there. They have one guy way up ahead. He came up around the left side to try and help. He gets the offensive rebound. He'll flip it back up off the glass and in. So Wisconsin gets the lead 11-10. Wisconsin doing a lot better now that they're not fouling Minnesota every Are you serious? I didn't even get the sentence out. Minnesota misses the shot. Misses both. Okay. I should have checked the free throw stats for the Duke Blue Devils. I meant to do that, but I just kind of forgot. Because they were atrocious from the stripe. We haven't seen consistent free throw shooting from any of the teams so far. We've seen a couple of teams be able to lock it down towards the end of the game when they really need to make sure that they are making their free throws, but the early game free throws have not been kind to many of the teams so far. Wisconsin shooting 2, speaking of free throws. They nail both of them. They now have a 3-point lead. Minnesota was up by at least 4. They've gone a little cold from the field. They missed a couple of free throws, which hasn't helped either. So 13-12 as Bucky Badger jams at home, pushing that lead up to 15-12. A little flip shot by Minnesota is up, but no good. The offensive rebound gets goaltended, and we see 2 points added to the Wisconsin Badgers. Minnesota looking for that full court press. That one's stolen right at midcourt, not a backcourt violation. There's a 3 for Minnesota, and they bury it, so it is 17-15. Minnesota looking like they're being very selective on their usage of the the full court defense. Hello, nerd. Hello, Evil Space Bunny. Thank you for the raid. Welcome, everybody. Bunny raid. Woo! Thank you for the raid. Hey, if you don't follow Evil Space Bunny, you should follow Evil Space Bunny on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Evil Space Bunny. Click on her name and then something. I don't know. Does that work? How's the basketball? The basketball is great. Thank you for asking. That shot was missed. Bucky Badger, and I don't know the name of the Gopher. Goldie the Golden Gopher. Call it that. It's going well. This is game number 6 of the day. I saw you were playing Horizon Zero Dawn earlier today. How is that going? I had you on in the background while I was munching on some cereal. 2 quick passes inside, jammed home. Horizon Zero Dawn is good. I love it. That's good. I'm happy to hear that. I'm glad you're enjoying the game. Is it running well on your PC? I heard it's had problems. The port had some issues, but I'm glad you're enjoying it. I own 2 copies of that game, and I've never finished it. And I know that sounds crazy, but hold on. I bought it originally when it came out, right? I was very excited. Then I never played it. I played like 4 hours of it and didn't finish it. But then they released the Frozen Wilds DLC, and I was like, oh, I'll buy that. And then I went to GameStop, and they had Horizon Zero Dawn, the complete edition, for $10, which was $5 cheaper than the Frozen Wilds DLC. So there's my explanation for why I am an insane person and own 2 of the same game. 21-19 here. Under 4 minutes to go in the first half. But it's one of the games that I'd like to get back to. I think about it often. I'm like, I see you over there. Bucky Badger, come on, make it. Oh, you have so much riding on you. Minnesota tying it up here at 21-21, blowing all our hopes and dreams for a 23-19 game. Yeah, I think that's part of it that gets me is the longer game aspect of it. I'm like, do I really want to try and bite that off right now? Or I could play this for 32 hours instead. Or commentate. I'm not actually playing. God, those are both huge games, especially Red Dead Redemption. I use this site, I use the How Long to Beat site, and to like check in, and I'm like, oh boy. Some of these things are like I was looking at Judgment today, because I was like, that sounds cool. And then it was like 27 hours, and I went, I don't know, man. I don't know. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater's coming out. I got shit to do. All right. What is happening? There's a video game happening. Thanks everybody for coming over, by the way, from Evil Space Bunny's raid. My name is Sean. I stream a variety of games on this channel. And every March and September I do a mascot tournament where we watch video game basketball. Thank you for the lurk. Thank you for the raid. Thank you for letting me know that you have to pee. I appreciate that. What are you eating for food? That sounded weird. I feel like that sounded weird. But I didn't mean it. That was supposed to be more of a joke. God, we have an injury on the court. Minnesota's up 2, 25-23. Cold cheeseburgers. Oh, man. The best kind? Love you too, Bunny. Thank you so much for the raid. Thanks, everybody, for sticking around, hanging out, and enjoy your lurk. Bunny, appreciate it very much. All right, let's get back into the game. We have a 25-24 game. The Badgers, 1 of 2 from the free throw line. I'm probably missing a hell of a good game because that's how it always works. Minnesota, nice spin move. Throws it out to go for a 3, but elects not to. Elects not to shoot it. Driving inside. There's a bunch of Badgers. I don't know what a gaggle of Badgers would be, but Baggles? Badgers? Baggles? I don't know where I'm going with this. All right, 26-25. God. Focus. 26-25, we have 1:44 remaining in the first half. If you're new and you're curious what's going on, you can actually check out this link right here. Go to challenge.com/SMM22, or 2020, excuse me. You can check out all the games that have happened. Right above me is the games of the day. We're in game number 6. So we have Michigan State, Oklahoma, and Louisville, Syracuse coming up after this one. This one's been a good one so far. We have number 13, unfortunately, has a leg injury. They're out for the rest of the game. Tried a tough move inside, but got deflected enough to cause some issues there. So Wisconsin holds their 3-point lead. Got a guy wide open in the corner for a 3, but instead he'll take the shot himself. So this one's for you, Stacy. Bucky and Stacy sitting in a tree. I was gonna spell scoring, but I didn't think that was funny because it was supposed to be a basketball joke, but then that sounded like sex, and I'm like, I don't know if I. Then I explained it anyway, so I don't know. 32-25, Wisconsin is up now by 7. I believe they're on like a 9-0 run at this point. Defensive foul will put Minnesota on the line for 2. First shot is missed. Second shot is missed as well. So Minnesota struggling from the free throw line. You have a 2-on-2 opportunity for Bucky Badger. He is going to shoot a weird shot. I thought he was going to step out of bounds on the baseline. What? C-E-T-E? Like, what? That doesn't even make any sense. All right. Learning with C-E-T. Okay. Seat. All right. Seat of Badgers. Okay. Seat of Badgers is leading by 6 here as we enter the second half of action. (34-28). Could win. Clear the old throat here. Could Wisconsin be the first home team, or away team, to win today? Shoot a 3, and that is good. So we'll push their lead out to 7. 37-30. All the home teams have won so far. Some of them much better games than others. It's actually, I'd say it's been a very solid day of games. A couple of the endings haven't been the most exciting, but by and large, the games themselves as a whole have been good. Georgia-Miami, probably the best one so far. NC State-Penn State one's the worst one by far. There's a pass inside. That one is just rejected. just rejected. Minnesota coming up strong on the defensive end. They're swinging around a deep specialty shooter. 3-point specialist is a much better way to phrase that because it makes sense. Swinging it around. Trying to drive inside. Wisconsin's defense doing a good job. They're trying to move the big guy side to side and see if they can get him just a step behind. Did a good job defending there. Did commit a foul. But it happens. And I guess that's an okay result there. Minnesota there going 1 for 2. Running a 3-point specialist for Wisconsin. He'll take a deep 3 off the right iron. No good, but the tip in is no good as well. Another offensive rebound. That one's jammed home. Showing them those stripes up close as he slams it in their face. So 39-33. 6-point game. Nice deep 2 there. Wisconsin leading by 4. I don't know if I read the records for either of these teams. Minnesota, they both actually have 2 and 3 records, or records of 2 and 3. Wisconsin, meaning that they've never been outside of the round of 32. Wisconsin in both March tournaments won their first games, and then Minnesota in the most recent 2 tournaments won their first games, including a memorable game against Temple that went to overtime on a really weird play that just was odd, but it was very good. So there you go. There's your records as Wisconsin has run the lead out to 9 points here. Not a blowout, but Wisconsin definitely feels like they're in control, especially in this second half. It's going to be a foul on Wisconsin. A little reach in there for shooting guard number 3. I said small guard earlier, but it's actually shooting guard. I know a lot about sports. I promise. Minnesota. They only need, 2 good defensive possessions here. They need some good offense. That was a nice kick out there. Probably should have gone for the 3-pointer there. That was a good look. Spin inside, back all the way outside. They're going to have to start getting something in the air. That's a 3 from the corner. It's no good. Wisconsin with the rebound. So kind of a wasted possession there. They burned 35 seconds of the clock, and they came away just totally empty-handed. Slide inside. Nice block. Shot up, but no good. Badger looked like they kind of ran into the camera there. Front end of the free throws is no good. So a bit of a free throw struggle on both sides today. Wisconsin goes 1 of 2 from the line. We had Minnesota recently going 1 for 2 from the line. Minnesota struggled from the line in the first half as well. Double-digit lead for the Badgers of Wisconsin, which is good for me. Normally it's like, man, root for a good game, make it entertaining, all that good stuff. At this point, I'm all about bracket preservation, and Wisconsin is a key cog in that preservation of the brackets. I have them at least in the Sweet 16 and probably the Elite Eight. Nice spin move for Wisconsin, but he couldn't quite get it to drop. It went off the left iron, no good, but an offensive rebound leads to a foul. Team foul number 2, and that left iron is getting a lot of love from these basketballs that are not making their shots. Second one is good. We'll see an 11-point lead for Wisconsin, cause Minnesota to take a timeout. 5:36 remaining here. Second half. Minnesota working it around the outside. A lot of players were on that left-hand side of the court. Now they've spread out a little bit more to the perimeter with a one-on-one down low, trying to get their big man isolated, it looked like. Took a long jump shot. No good. Wisconsin comes up the court, gets the ball stripped away. Able to recover. Stripped away again, able to recover. 20 seconds on the shot clock. No rush for Wisconsin as they take a shot there. Missed it. Got a nice rebound, though. And Wisconsin started to open up a lead here. 13 points. Minnesota not really doing a whole lot, as the arena is pretty silent. Just startlingly quiet. That's what happens when your team is down by 13. Or the team you're rooting for is down by 13. Wisconsin putting on a good clinic here. Baseball pass up front. Can't get anything going there. The crowd cheers a little more, sensing maybe some kind of comeback. They're going to need to get something going here. One-on-one in the post. Looked like it was going to be one of those whole glitches again, but they threw it out pretty quickly, which is nice. Shot is up and good. So Minnesota cuts it to 11. 48-37. Passing over to the left. Sliding inside. Couldn't get it. Did that weird, like, around and up sort of thing. And it just didn't work out for him. Minnesota takes a couple steps inside. They can't get anything going. They missed a dunk. Okay, they finally get it. That was a very bizarre play, but a nice little flip there. Bounced off the rim a couple times. It finally dropped. You hate to see a team miss a dunk down 11. They're down 9 now. Nice steal there. Spin move up over the defenders. I believe it would be his left shoulder. So both in the 40s now. 48-41. 7-point lead. Wisconsin, that's a deep 2 at best. I don't believe it was a 3. The feet can be a little weird to see, but I don't know if it was a 3. Ball gets stripped away from Minnesota. Wisconsin's probably not taking enough time off the shot clock. They really should be milking it for all it's worth. No cow pun intended. Granted, there are no cows on the court, but Wisconsin famous for its dairy. There was a joke there somewhere. It worked. It was hilarious. We all laughed and enjoyed ourselves. Probably laughed hard enough to accidentally hit that follow button. Or twitch.tv/SeanOsaurusRex. All right. 2:20. Minnesota is hanging in there. Hanging around in there. Wisconsin, on the other hand, and more importantly, they're leaving the door open for Minnesota to wedge their foot in and kick it down and make this comeback complete. Missed free throws like that are not going to help. That's probably giving Minnesota a little confidence. If we start getting down to a minute and they're only down 4 or 5, somewhere in there, then all of a sudden Wisconsin's misses become that much more important. But at 8 points, it's not ideal. You have Minnesota probably has 60 seconds to A, not do that and step out of bounds, but B, they have about a minute to get the lead down to 4. That was a good implementation of the full court press. Didn't really work out. It looks like Wisconsin will start to, milk the clock a little bit. Not intentionally. I think it's just one of those weird glitches. This happens every once in a while. No big deal. Three. Shot is up and shot is good. Surprisingly, that works a lot. I don't know why, but works well. Flip the old legs that I'm sitting on here. 1:20 remaining, second half. Thanks everybody for sticking around from Evil Space Bunny's raid. Again, shout out to her. Appreciate it. She mostly plays survival games, so if you don't follow her and you watch my channel, you should go check her stuff out. Today she was playing Horizon Zero Dawn. Oh, that 3 was up, but it's no good. A nice defensive stand from Wisconsin. We'll start to see some fouls here. We're going to need to really watch and see. Wisconsin really needs to make sure that they make their free throws. Granted, they're up 10, so that's kind of a large deficit with under a minute to go, but Minnesota essentially has 3 opportunities for Wisconsin to miss the first shot. And we'll see if maybe they have the Miami style. Nailing the free throws when they need to. Minnesota, will take a timeout. We saw Miami struggle with free throws. We also saw Boston College struggle with their free throws, but make them down the stretch. Oh my goodness. That's a great defensive play from Wisconsin. And it looks like Minnesota's just going to say, nah, we're good. We're good. So Wisconsin becomes the first away team to win today. Oops. 53. 53 to 41. I guess technically points can still be scored. There is time on the clock. 3. It's a deep 3 for Wisconsin. Didn't need it, but they took it anyway. Oh my God. What's one more backcourt violation? You know what I mean? What's one more turnover for Minnesota? All right, Wisconsin 53, Minnesota 41. Submit the scores, push Wisconsin in to the next round. We'll be going to Madison in the next round, where they will face off against Boston College. All right, there we go. 6 down. 2 to go here, as my light needs to come on now. All right. Michigan State, we're going to stay in the Big Ten, is going to take on Oklahoma. Michigan State, Oklahoma. Michigan State has a record of 3-3. They've made it as far as the Sweet 16 back in March. And Oklahoma has never won a game in the tournament. So we'll get this one rolling here. All-American, 10 minutes. We're going to Norman, Oklahoma here. Winner has to go on the road to face either Syracuse and the lovely Oranges, or defending champion Louisville, which will round out our coverage today. Coming up here at the end of this game. Michigan State, one of the few humanoids I actually like using because it technically is a mascot costume. I tend to steer away from the human characters because I don't really like them that much. Like USC is not in here because I'm like, oh, it's just some guy in Spartan armor, who cares? Or Trojan armor, who cares? I was looking at the Spartans. Here we have our Christmas Day matchup, green versus red. Oklahoma coming out strong here. And scoring 2 points. So good for them. They're getting on the board in a positive way. Michigan State had a very memorable game against Texas in the most recent March tournament. That went to overtime. In the first round, Michigan State versus Texas. Nice strip. We have another 0-0, by the way. So it's Minnesota, Villanova, and Oklahoma now. The Spartans of Michigan State do not have any numbers on their armor. Shot is no good. There was almost a backcourt violation, by the way. The ball got loose, and he was right on that line. They come away with positive points, 4-2. Stripped again down low. We've seen that twice now for Michigan State. Their defense playing very well. Oklahoma looking like they're getting into a pretty good opportunity to get some points, get on the board here. And Michigan State with some good hands to strip the ball away. Getting close to that sideline. That's a long two, and that was blocked. You don't often see blocks that far away. And they'll just go ahead and step out of bounds. Oklahoma, no real interest in scoring or even really shooting the basketball. They just don't care. 2 quick passes inside, and that is an easy jam. I think that play is effective because because of the collision that happens almost opposite when sometimes the ball goes behind the backboard. The 2 quick passes seems like when the center or the big man down below, when he turns, he bumps him out of the way and is able to just jam it down. No problem. Michigan State continuing their success on offense. 10-4. Usually I think it's because the passes are so quick that the defender doesn't have time to react, but in that specific case, the little Sooner was like behind the backboard going, I can't defend. Help. So 10-6. Oklahoma hanging around. That's what you want to see. You want to see them not fall too far behind early. We saw some of that last night in the Best of the Never Winners tournament, where just teams get out to a pretty big lead, and there's not really a whole lot else going on. Of course, Oklahoma in the 3rd place game of last night's Hype Stream tournament did get out to a 7-point lead on Washington State and then just totally poop on the floor in the second half and not do anything. I think they scored 4 points. Granted, it was a shorter half. It was a 5-minute half, but still, they really dropped the ball. Oklahoma on a fast break. That's going to be a defensive foul. That's a hard foul. Unnecessary foul. He'll get into that Spartan's face, presumably saying something along the lines of "arf arf." Censored for the children. He's like, why would you foul me, sir? That really hurt. I don't appreciate that you pushed me like that. I don't know why I would have to censor that. I feel like I've been pretty curse-free today. Oh boy, they are really on the line there. And by today, I mean in this video. I was very cursy in the Fall Guys part that I did earlier. But this video has been pretty clean. So we'll keep it that way, I guess. 12-8. I don't know what I'm talking about at this point. Even I sometimes am sitting here and I'm like, why? Why are you making this sentence last as long, you know? I was talking to somebody the other day about sometimes like I just tell a story and like even I get bored. I'm just like, I don't want to tell this story anymore. Refocus. We have a Sooner trying to get loose for a 3. That was a good look. It's contested, but it was still a good look. Do not throw it to the man who was running out of bounds. That's a deep 2 for Michigan State. Going a little cold from the field. Fortunately for them, Oklahoma is also going cold from the field, so it hasn't been quite as damaging to Michigan State's lead as you might think. The lead is down to 2, though. And what seems like it might be a Michigan State kind of blowout, Oklahoma is making sure that it is not that. Here's an easy 2. They'll jam it home. Michigan State gave good chase there. Tried to get a block, but too far behind to do anything about it. 12-12 here at the halfway point of the first half. Ooh, boy, that was a long 3. That was a jam. Looked like it was kind of blocked or something happened there. His hand moved in a weird way. But Michigan State working with a 2-point lead. Oklahoma settled down on offense a little bit. Just double checking my notes to make sure that I have the correct game plan. Oklahoma getting their first lead of the game, by the way, while that happened. While I looked away, they scored a 3. And then they stripped the ball away, or at least a loose ball was recovered by Oklahoma. Passing over. And Oklahoma taking the lead here, or getting a 3-point lead, I should say. 17-14. If you're Michigan State, at what point do you call a timeout? You know, you got to stop this run. You got to get your players calm down, settle down. Doesn't really matter when you're nailing threes like that. Tying the game back up at 17. Because usually runs like that would end in a timeout. Oh, wow. Shortest guy on the court getting the rebound there. That's me. Accidentally getting a rebound because I was in the right place at the right time and there was no one taller anywhere near me. It's going to be a triple coverage right there. I don't know why you're jumping into that. That's 3 defenders. Somebody's got to be open somewhere. (18-17). Michigan State takes the lead. Scary switching from Minnesota to Michigan State. That's a 10-second half-court violation for Oklahoma. And they were right there, too. I don't know why they passed it back and forth instead of trying to get it up the floor a little bit. Or even just having one player be like, hey, I'm across half court now. Michigan State with a nasty jam gives them a 3-point lead. And a steal. Oklahoma coming apart at the seams here a little bit. Another jam home. Michigan State push their lead back out to 5. It's what you worry about with teams that have to make a comeback, even if it is as small as Oklahoma's comeback needed to be. Why did he do that? What the hell was that? What? You do have to maintain that momentum. You got to stay focused, got to get back in the game, and then keep that momentum going. Oklahoma losing the momentum a little bit, but getting it back. It's a couple of nice jams home to pull it within 1. Dancing around. Deep 3 from the corner. No good. The tip in is good though. Only worth 2. That's a deep 2, no good, so it doesn't really matter. These two have some of the bigger feet in the tournament. That's a 3. Didn't matter, didn't go. Rebound Oklahoma. It's a whole mess of people down there. There were like six people down there waiting for that rebound. Oklahoma comes out of that mess with the board. Like they're running a 3-point specialist. That's a 3. Didn't go. Rebound is up and good though. So 24-23. Started out as a little bit of a lopsided game. Has turned into a very competitive contest here. Towards the end of the first half, Oklahoma making sure that they're sticking around in this game. Michigan State not executing super well on offense. And allowing Oklahoma the opportunity to make a comeback here. It's a deep 3, and it is splashed home. So that'll give Oklahoma the lead as we run off the final 35 seconds here. We have a second between shot clock and game clock. It's off the rim, so the shot clock is now turned off. Tie game, 26-all. Oklahoma can hold for the final shot that you probably won't. I don't even know why I pointed out. I feel like I pointed out out of habit. More so than actual factual information. He sure didn't try to hold it. Michigan State push it one pass forward, one more pass forward. They might not even get a shot off. It's good. I believe that counts. That looked like it was maybe at the buzzer, but 29-26 is our our first half score. Michigan State leading, and Oklahoma coming out with a very nice play to start the second half and get right back in it. 29-28. That is as late as I've seen a shot go up. Usually it's about 3 seconds, and when the 3 seconds happened, I thought maybe the game broke, or it was like doing like the player lost track of time or whatever. But wasn't sure it went down. Doesn't really matter. They count it, so. Oh, Michigan State got real close to that sideline. I guess you could put in the headline of this, like, controversial finish? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Did Oklahoma get screwed out of an opportunity to play in the round of 32 of a mascot tournament on twitch.tv/JohnSourceRex in a video game? Oh my gosh. I'll report it to ESPN. I'll tweet at them. I'll be like, hey, ESPN, look at this. Look at this unbelievable finish. Controversial. (31-28). Michigan State now working with a bit of a full court press. We haven't seen much of this from them, which is surprising because they were able to get Oklahoma to get into a 10-second violation. That was a three-pointer that was no good. It looked like it went off the bottom of the backboard as well. There's a 3 for Oklahoma, so 2 opportunities out of 3, 0 makes, so no points on the board for them. Michigan State, they'll try a 3 of their own. They'll splash it home. 34-28. Nice pass inside. Nice pass back. Ooh, nice backwards pass there. Trying to get it in. Nice game. 34-29, 5-point game. And a 4-point game now. Oh, nice block by Oklahoma down low. It's going to be out of bounds. Oklahoma ball. So that's one of those weird turnovers where Michigan State blocked it. Or Oklahoma, excuse me. Oklahoma blocked it. Michigan State should have just retained possession, but they touched it out of bounds. That leads to a 2-point jam for the Oklahoma Sooners. And just like that, it's a 2-point deficit. It's about 2 minutes gone here in the final half. Second half, I should say. Don't know why I said final half. Oklahoma looking for the tie. Could go for the lead with a 3. They've been playing pretty well inside. They have a 3-point specialist roping around. It didn't work really well because there was a Sooner that was just kind of hanging out there. So there was a defender regardless. Even if the defender that was on the 3-point specialist was late, there was still too much traffic there. Doesn't matter because they're able to get in and get a 2-point shot to go. So they'll knot it up at 34. Michigan State has had moments, or stretches I should say, where they've been pretty dominant and pushed out some leads, but they have not been consistent. So well, that could play a factor in later games. Keep this in mind. Oklahoma hanging around, just lurking, sitting there. There's a shot that's up and good. And it's 38-36. So the shot is up and good there. 40-36, excuse me. 6:37 remaining, second half. Nice jam inside for Oklahoma. It's a 2-point game here. Late. Well, I guess not late, but middle of the second half, out of bounds, Michigan State ball. See, that's what you want to do. If you're Michigan State, just let the ball go out of bounds. You're going to get it back. I don't know why you're trying to make some incredible play. Like, just hang out. You'll get the ball back. It's all good. Michigan State getting dangerously close to that sideline. Working it around the 3-point line. That's stolen away. 2-on-1 opportunity. All they had to do was pass it back. All right. That works. Wasn't the easiest, but he got it there. And we're all knotted up at 40. Could we see Oklahoma's first win? There are 8 winless teams. Oklahoma is one of them. Missing a dunk definitely is not going to help your chances of winning, but getting fouled definitely does. First shot is up and good. Second shot up and good as well. (42-40). Michigan State now behind. They haven't had to deal with this much. I wonder how key that 3-point shot is going to be from the end of the first half. That's a 3 for Michigan State. Knocks it home. Because if Michigan State, theoretically, like let's say they lose by, or they win by 2, win by 3, you know. If they don't get that shot at the end of the first half, like, then all of a sudden that's like a tie game. Interesting. I know, like, sometimes I'll talk to my mom about, like, oh, what if, you know, a sports team or whatever did this, that, or the other thing, and she'll be like, well, it didn't happen, so it doesn't matter. I'm like, well, but what if, though? What if the 1985 Chicago Bears had to face the Miami Dolphins instead of the New England Patriots? You know, the only team that beat the 1985 Chicago Bears was the Miami Dolphins. What if they had to play them in the Super Bowl instead of rolling over a New England team that wasn't that great? Michigan State, 3 is off to the left side. That's one of those weird hand-changing plays thrown into the back of the backboard. So we'll see Oklahoma get the ball with a 44-43 lead. Winding down to 4 minutes remaining in the second half. Winner, we'll get to watch and see who they play next round. They'll be on the road, so Michigan State will either continue to be on the road or Oklahoma will have to pack their bags and head to either Louisville or Syracuse. A couple of ugly possessions here for each team. And it remains 44-43. That's a missed shot. Should have been rebounded by Oklahoma, but they just weren't. That was not a smart pass by Michigan State, and it's an even dumber pass because they came away with no points. There was a guy on his right that had all the space in the world. The defense was shifted to the left just enough that would have been able to get a nice, easy bucket, but instead that whole calamity happened, and now they're still down by 1. Thankfully, their defense is holding, giving them an opportunity to make sure it stays a 1-point game instead of it ballooning or moving to 3 to 5. Back around outside. A couple of pump fakes there. 44-43. We've gone a whole minute without any scoring. Exciting stuff. Working around. Inside, shot is short. Off that right iron. Michigan State popping back, trying to set something up here. Quick passes inside. Going to be an and one opportunity for Michigan State. Nice play. Got the bucket and the foul. So they'll go to the line for 1. They looked bad right at the start. Off to the right. So Michigan State trades 1-point lead for 1-point lead. Oklahoma's shot is off the right as well. Off to the right. I skipped a couple words in there. Time winds down here. 45-44, stolen away by Oklahoma. Kind of hard to believe that Oklahoma's 0 for 3. Oh, stolen away. And that, never mind. It makes sense now. I see it. Michigan State getting blocked down low. Turnover. Oklahoma didn't really have much of a option there. That somehow goes in off that left iron. Just kind of flipped it up there and hoped for the best. And the best was a 2-point shot that gives them a 1-point lead. Under 2 minutes to go here. Michigan State splitting the defense. Really not a smart play there. There were 3 defenders there. Somebody had to be open. First shot up and good. 46 all. Second shot missed, but the putback misses as well. So, knotted up at 46. That's fine. A lot of opportunities for Oklahoma. None of them, they come away with none of them. Looked like it was a block. It'll stay Oklahoma's ball. We have 33 seconds on the shot clock. Nice move there. Pushed the defender just out of the way and jammed it home. 48-46. See what Michigan State draws up here. 1:17 remaining. They were maybe trying to go to 2 quick passes. Kind of gets stuck there. We got a guy a little more open. That one's a weird looking shot, but I guess if it goes in, no big deal. 48-48 now. With 1:05 remaining. Oklahoma will take a timeout. One minute. Pass inside, one-on-one. Blocked by Michigan State. Off the right iron, no good. So a good defensive possession there for the Spartans. They can suck some time off this clock. They had a guy wide open for 3 in the corner. Elected not to go there. Going to pass it inside. Got stripped away. It's going to be out of bounds. Michigan State ball. So maintain possession. Not a great play, but Oklahoma makes it a great play because it's a goaltend. Oh no, Oklahoma. That was an ugly shot. I don't know if that was going to go in. Michigan State is getting away with a lot of pretty dumb decisions. They keep going down into the paint where there are 3 Oklahoma defenders, and they keep coming out okay enough to maintain or to have a 2-point lead. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Obviously, no one needs to foul here. He's going back. Oklahoma knocking it down with 7.6 remaining. Michigan State will take a timeout. Last 2 Michigan State games have gone, or the last Michigan State game, I should say, went into overtime. Do we have 2 in a row? 6-5. That's a deep 3. That is not even close. Oklahoma took a timeout there. 0.4 remaining. Nothing's going to happen because they can't advance the ball. So we are going to overtime. Michigan State and Oklahoma. They'll tip it. 5-minute overtime period here. Michigan State wins the tip. Working it around the outside. There's a 3 for Michigan State. That's no good. That's a pass inside. That's a nice play for Oklahoma to get on the board first in the overtime period. 52-50. Nice play by Michigan State to tie the game up. Not now. Don't drop those frames. Don't you dare drop them. That one was off the side of the backboard. Nothing doing there. This is important, exciting basketball here. Oklahoma stealing it away. 52-52. That one is going up and in. Oh my goodness. Flipped it behind him. Kind of just praying that it'll do something. And his prayer was answered. Looking to get Oklahoma their first win in Mascot Madness history. And with a 3-point lead and 4:01 remaining. Michigan State, nice shot there for 2. Pardon me. So down 1. Turns out that 3-pointer was pretty important for Michigan State. They got at the end of the first half. Michigan State, that looked like it was going to be kind of a lazy pass into the lane. Probably should have been picked off, but mercifully it wasn't. First free throw is good. 55-55. Second free throw is short, so we'll look at a tie game here with 3:21 remaining. Michigan State, 2 defenders there. Look like they're a little disorganized. Oh my gosh, got it with the fake. A little fade away. That was off the glass and good. That shot is up and good. So there was a tie there. I don't really know what happened because that siren was so god dang loud. 57-57. 2:49 remaining. We have a tie game. That's what's important. We've never been to double overtime. That was an incredible block by Michigan State. 2-on-2 here. Run up, flip, and in. So Michigan State really working with that fast break offense. Will we see a double overtime game today? I don't know. We have time. Technically, we have time for it. I mean, we're pretty on schedule, which is nice. 59-57. Nice jam there. There you go. Okay. I'm sorry, the Twitch stream preview wasn't loaded correctly. Oklahoma now down 4. They're going to get fouled. That might be a 3-shot foul, by the way. They'll miss the first one. And they'll miss the second one as well. This was a huge opportunity to close it down to 1 point. And they instead are just down 3. They get 1 of 3. Huge and important free throws that just didn't go down. Ball is stripped away. So Oklahoma, there you go. Nice pass. It's going to be a defensive foul. We'll see if that was in the process of a shot. I don't think it was. It was just a common on-the-floor foul. A little hard foul, but not that big of a deal. 3 Michigan State defenders. He injured his back. I think he made the shot. And there was a whole lot of stuff going on all at once. Look out, everybody. The dog needs a seat. All right. They complete the 3-point play. So, in the grand scheme, not the worst thing in the world, but also, damn. You still missed 2 free throws. Michigan State throwing it up. They're doing all kinds of things that they don't need to do. (62-61). Shot is no good. So we have a 1-point game here. With 1:27 remaining. Again, never had a double overtime game. No, wait, no, we did. I think the Minnesota Temple game was a double overtime game. I'm wrong. We've never had a triple overtime game. Run it around. That's a deep 3 for Oklahoma, and they bury it. Oh, my goodness. Michigan State now down 2. They looked like they were in a great position, up 61-57. Ready to move on to the next round, but 61-57. I'm not sure if I said that correctly or not. Inside pass. That one is splashed on in. We're working with a 64-64 game. 1:03 remaining. Two passes inside. Oh my gosh, another 3-point opportunity for Oklahoma. My goodness. So 3-point play is successful here. Michigan State will take a timeout. They have 3 remaining. 53.8 seconds. Oklahoma is having to work really hard to put themselves in a position to get their first win in tournament history. That's a quick inside pass. Kind of double clutched it there a little bit. No reason to foul here. There's 35 seconds on the shot clock. There are 40 seconds total. So there's about a 4 second difference. Play some good defense here. I guess you don't need to foul immediately. There you go. That's what you're looking for. Nice steal there. (67-66). Oklahoma leads. That one is no good. It's defensively rebounded. They're going to have to foul. Oh my goodness. That was exactly what you wanted if you were the Michigan State Spartans. They got a steal, and they just... I don't know what it is, but the teams just keep running into, like, triple defenders and thinking, oh, this is a good idea. This will work. Now, I guess Michigan State doesn't technically need a three-point... Jesus. You can take all the timeouts you need, Michigan State. You could not have had a better setup. You got a steal, ran down the court, didn't make the shot, had to foul. Oh, Michigan State's going down in overtime. This is a great game. Wow. Oklahoma picks up their first win in Mascot Tournament history. 70-66. Unbelievable. Michigan State really threw that game away. I don't know why the computer gets so aggressive towards the end of the game where they like we have to get it to half court immediately and then not do anything with it. Oklahoma is your victor. Man. But I mean, they were right there. They had exactly what they wanted. They got the steal. They missed the shot. I can't believe, like, Oklahoma gave them every opportunity to win that game, to finish that game. Pardon me. There you go. But a good game. Good game. Game modes. We have one more game for you today, and this is a hand-picked placement game, but this was a randomly selected matchup. Well, that was disappointing. Louisville at Syracuse. I picked Ohio. I don't know why I did that. Oh, because Ohio plays in the next game. Syracuse. Louisville at Syracuse. Louisville has a record of 14-2, and they've been the champion. They're the most recent champion. Syracuse has a 6-3 record, and their best finish was second. So Louisville has played a total of 16 games in this tournament, and they usually do pretty well. So here we go. We're going to Syracuse, New York. The Courier Dome, All-American, 10 minutes. Obviously, we just watch the game. Top 23 matchup. Have you tried recruiting? No, I don't, because, God, recruiting is so boring. That was a kind of a disappointing finish. So here we go. Welcome to Syracuse, New York. We have, well, I would argue, a fan favorite in Syracuse versus the most recent champion, Louisville. Syracuse not getting off to a good start, fouling immediately. That's a really good example of giant-ass feet that look like they're out of bounds but aren't actually out of bounds. Louisville struggling a little bit from the free throw line. Louisville, for the most part, had a pretty easy time in their path to winning the championship. However, They did have a very weird first-round matchup against South Carolina, I believe it was. They also play this full-court defense, which is not the most fun thing to watch. So get used to that. Syracuse might have a real rough time trying to get out of this first round, which is unfortunate. See what they do here. There we go. They break it. What Syracuse is going to need to do is try and force misses so that Louisville doesn't have the opportunity to set up. Also, maybe don't turn it over. That would be also something I would suggest. It's a 3 for Louisville, and they'll knock it home. Sirens, you want to chill today? God. Thanks. I didn't have a headache earlier, but I sure do now. Oh, that was almost stolen away. That one was blocked. Second shot up and good. So 6-2. Louisville in the front court. 1-on-1, that's just a jam that was going to happen, you know? All right, Louisville. Oh, you can't throw it there. Syracuse. Out of bounds, Syracuse ball. Well, Syracuse had a guy that was open on the left side, but for some reason he decided to go on the right side, and that threw it off. See if they can get consistently through this defense. It's a long 2, no good. Syracuse getting a lot of blocks against them. This makes me very nervous. I really don't want Louisville to win back-to-back tournaments. And I don't know if there are enough variants in the game to like continually change it up. All right, Syracuse down 8 here. We're looking at close to a 10-second violation. Instead, it's just going to be stolen. God, I hate Louisville. I hate their style of defense. It's so boring. Syracuse is getting smacked here early. I didn't go grab my... Why? Why are you throwing it that way? What is wrong with you? Still a defender there, like there has been the entire time. Of course they make it 14-2. There you go. Get it up the floor a little bit. I actually sound angry with Louisville or Syracuse. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Syracuse can't even get a shot off. Louisville is up 14 and they're like, "Oh no, you can advance the ball. We're fine. We've done the damage we need to do." Three for Syracuse, no good. Nice block by Syracuse. Getting control of that loose ball there. A little bit of a run here. Back to the right side. Good defensive recovery by Louisville. 16-2 game here. 4 minutes gone, so strap in for another 16. Shot is short, and Syracuse is just all out of sorts. Syracuse made it to the finals. They did lose to Arizona State a couple tournaments ago. It was a weird replay interruption. I mean, at this rate, Syracuse might be looking at the lowest score we've ever seen at a tournament. They have 2 points in 4.5 minutes. Can't get that one to fall either. I'm pretty sure I put Syracuse very far into my bracket. Okay, I didn't put them that far. All right, never mind. Woo, woo, woo. All right, Mouse, if you'd like to. 18-2 here. That's an easy layup. So we're looking at a 20-2 start here, and this is just awful. This is not the finish I was hoping for. I wanted to put the teams that people liked, or kind of the more hand-picked matchups, to bookend this stuff so that people would be like excited to watch, like, oh, stick around and watch Syracuse. Oh, cool. Ohio's coming up next. That'll be awesome. I like the Bobcats. That sort of thing. But instead, we have a 22-2 game. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to mute the camera. I'm going to mute the audio. God damn it, Mouse, please. There's a 3. All right, 22-5. I'll be right back. Hey, look, they scored some points. Hello. We're back. Jamming it home. 35-17. I think that means it's time for the blowout book, which is Star Trek The Next Generation. X-Men Planet X by Michael Jan Friedman. 37-19. As we approach the end of the first half, that's a deep three. No. The lift doors opened, and Picard got inside. But he didn't get inside alone. The X-Men known as Archangel came with him. As the doors closed, Archangel turned to him. You're going after that cluster missile, aren't you? The captain didn't return the winged man's scrutiny. As it happens, he said, I am. Computer, Shuttle Bay 1. The lift began to move. Take me with you, said Archangel. Finally, when Picard looked at him, his expression a skeptical one, why would I do that? Because I can help, the mutant told him. I may not be 100%, but I can probably fly at peak efficiency for a short period of time with a little luck. With a little luck, I read that incorrectly because there's a comma there. With a little luck, I can make it to the missile and disarm it. The captain shook his head. We don't know anything about the technology that we went into it. What? We don't know anything about the technology that went into it. But we will, Archangel insisted. When we're up close and personal with it, you'll scan it with those high-powered, sophisticated instruments of yours and figure out what makes it tick. Even so, Picard said, the friction created by its passage through the atmosphere will render it too hot to handle. Can you slow it down, the mutant asked. Picard glared at him. Yes, with a tractor beam, but if you make a mistake, and if the device explodes in your face? Archangel smiled a taut smile. Then you'll have one less annoying X-Man flying around your ship. Oh, Archangel, willing to sacrifice. It's based on Star Trek The Next Generation, created by Gene Roddenberry. And X-Men, based on the X-Men based on the Marvel comic book. Star Trek The Next Generation and X-Men. From 1998. Last time this game was good, 41-19. Just an absolute annihilation. Prologue. Turn that down so I can focus here. God, why does this game suck? You know what I mean? Like, God, Louisville, please don't win again. I'm going to go buy another stupid game. Oh. Prologue. I will soon be a new person, Eric Savor told his friends, savoring the warmth of the afternoon sun on his face. I will be a person this world has never seen before. His companions laughed good-naturedly, and reminded him that everyone is like that. A person the world has never seen before. And they said that was true even before a person went on his adulthood quest. What? But Arid wouldn't have had his enthusiasm dampened. I will be truly different, he said. I will be so different than anyone else. Oh, so different from anyone else. You won't know me when you see me again. They laughed again, and this time he laughed with them. Over the next several hours, Arid and his friends completed their hike into the barren highlands of Radad Cooler. Oh, God. This stuff makes so much more sense when, like, a character says it on a show. Like, yeah, but Syracuse got me really good. Spit out my drink. Oh, God. You spilled your food earlier, and now you're going to spit your drink out. Doing okay? Oh, man. They laugh. Radad Cooler? That's got to be a Star Trek location. Rod? Oh, whatever. At the doorstep of the gigantic Vorin Pass, they paused to eat something. When Urid prepared himself for the task ahead, his friends traded scandalous stories about him and laughed even harder than before. Then, as the sun began to set, he hugged each of his companions and said goodbye to them. After all, he was certain they would never see him again, at least not as the arid Savor they had known. Continuing his journey on his own, he mused that one other should have been there to say goodbye to him. Unfortunately, that was gone from his life forever. It was best to forget about him, the youth told himself, and move on. Without the benefit of food or water, Arid made the long climb up the Ortis Par. Why did they've mentioned this thing 3 times, and every time they have said different names. Me and food drinks have a complicated relationship. Alright, Syracuse, down 21 here with 6 minutes left. See if we can get through this prologue. Arid made the long, Arid, E-R-I-D, Arid. Oh my gosh, 47. Oh wait, never mind. Louisville had the ball. Made the long climb up Otris Par, the legendary field of heaven. When he got there, he saw the dozen tall, lonely stacks of rocks that awaited him. Arid chose the pile furthest from the ruddy light of the setting sun, and, therefore, nearest the light of the sun that would rise the next morning. Then he climbed the rocks, laid one on top of the other, in ancient times. What? Ancient times, until he reached the highest and most precarious of them. Sitting, he crossed his legs. Then he took a breath and composed himself, his light clothing barely any help against the cutting lash of the wind. Putting aside all thoughts of the life he had led to that point, thoughts both good and bad, he began to sing. It was the way it had been done by his ancestors for the last 750 years. It was what tradition deemed of him, and Arid was only too eager to comply. So there he sat, alone under the terrible and unexpected brightness of the stars, and sang psalms to the inclinations of his spirit. Nor was it like any other spirit in all the universe. His elders had assured Arid that again and again. All he had to do was sing the songs they had said, and he would find the elements that made him unique, the elements that finally and irrevocably made him Arid Savor. Before a time, the stars were obscured by a herd of gray clouds. Arid felt the cold, eventually numb sizzle of the rain, but he sang his way through. I don't understand what's happening here. 4:44, it's 54-28. Good God. That's a deep 2. No good. Then the rain stopped and the clouds disappeared, leaving only a few breeze-rippled puddles as evidence of their passing. As he sat there shivering, he was again haunted by thoughts of one who should have been there with him at Vuren Pass. Anger and resentment rose in him, and pain as well. No, he told himself. You must clear your mind, driving away such thoughts as the clouds have been driven from the sky. Closing his eyes, Arid dropped deeper into his song, seeking solace. He wrapped it around about him like a cloak against the chill, and in time his thoughts became pure again. He pursued mystery after mystery, seeking who he was and who he might yet be. He came up with questions, a great many of them, but nothing at all in the way of answers. Not at first, anyway. Then, with the first pale hint of dawn, a change began to take place in Arid. Maybe this is like the villain or something. Oh God, there's 7 pages of this. It's a 29-point game. Why? God. Louisville, please. Oh my God. As the wind lost its edge and the land grew still, the answers he craved soon started to come to him, one after the other, slowly at first, and then in a dizzying, breathtaking rush. The youth felt a rush of confidence, a heady unfolding of grand potentials and possibilities. With great satisfaction, he realized he was doing what he had set out to do. shedding one existence and dawning another. Finally, the song having served its purpose, he stopped singing. But the feelings of joy and transformation continued. Now the sun was rising over the uneven line of the horizon, its warmth moving down Arid's body like a lover's caress. It immersed his hands and feet. Then he took the chill from the stone surface beneath him. He breathed deeply again and at last opened his eyes. The world was beautiful. Even this place, with its dark, graceless flats and slopes and rock piles, with its stubborn refusal to support life, it was beautiful. It was as beautiful as anything he had seen. His teachers were right, Arid thought. There had been a new way of seeing things locked inside, a way that belonged to him alone. All he needed to do to find it was to follow their path. Wishing to share his feelings with his friends, knowing how glad they would be to see him, Arid uncrossed his legs and tried to dismount from the rock pile. However, his limbs wouldn't cooperate. They were stiff and awkward from his long night's vigil. He had to go slow, to allow his feet time to find the niches between the stones. As the light moved down by the ancient pile, so did he. Little by little, rock by rock, his legs tingling painfully as the circulation began to return to them. Then one of his feet slipped and missed the niche, as the rest of Arid followed in amazing quickness. The next thing he knew, he was lying on the ground, the side of his head feeling raw and bludgeoned. He touched his fingertips to his temple. They came away with a purplish smudge on them. Blood, he thought, vaguely. Am I bleeding? But even that couldn't dim Arid's jubilation. Rolling over onto his belly, he raised himself on his hands and knees. Then, laughing at his helplessness, he hauled himself to his feet. Turning, he saw the place where Ostis Par descended into the Voltron Pass. With his back to the rising sun, he set out in that direction. First, it got easier and easier. The blood rushed back into his legs. He made his way past one stack of rocks and then another. But after a while, Arid's legs began to feel heavy again. Sensing that something was wrong, he looked down at them. Was his imagination, or were the veins in his legs swelling? He pondered that question, feeling a tiny trickle of fear running down his spine. He realized it wasn't just his legs that felt heavy. His arms felt that way too. Weighted down and thick, swollen somehow. And their veins were popping out as if they wanted to burst through his smooth bronze skin. 51 seconds, 65 to 34, by the way. Absolute butt of a last game. Close. McAfee. Chill. Weighted down and thick, swollen, but pop. Arid shook his head helplessly. It didn't make sense. There were no poisonous animals lurking this high up, no toxic plants that he might have brushed against. And if he had eaten something bad for him the day before, he would have known long before this. Didn't make sense at all, and yet his veins and arteries were swelling before his eyes, standing out under his flesh like metal cables. But strangely, Arid felt no pain. Even the numbness had gone away. The only discomfort he felt was the sensation of weightiness. Yeah, why not just run out of bounds with the ball? You're only down 34 points. All right, there we go. Let's see. He swallowed, his throat dry with fear. He could feel the vessels in his neck and his temples were swelling too. Now, and that wasn't all. His flesh was beginning to darken around them, turning a hideous shade of purple, except at his fingers, which remained their natural bronze somehow. What's going on? Eric wondered, his heart pounding savagely against his ribs. What's happening to me? It's a good question, and we'll find out later, depending on if games are this bad in the future. That sucked. Because Syracuse is a typical favorite team, but also I don't like that Louisville won by such a large margin. That's not good. Hopefully they'll face a stiffer contest against Oklahoma as Louisville wins 68 to 34. The winner is indeed Louisville. We'll go ahead and advance and submit the score. That game was so bad, I got up and went to the bathroom during it. I was like, oh, okay, cool. This is how this is working. All right. As soon as my mouse would cooperate. I don't know if it's a dead battery or if it's just a connection issue, but something is being a real pain here. We'll go ahead and update you on the standings in the predictions. EA Sports is in the game. All right, here are your predictions and standings. In first, the Beeb with 5 out of 8 and a projected score of 155. Looks like one of the Beeb's final 4 teams was Syracuse, and they got dismantled. Next up, we have Redneck Girl, who is in second with 4 and a potential score of 180. Looks like all 4 of their final 4 teams are intact. Blind Guesses brought to you by Harper. Is missing one of their final 4 teams as well. They are technically in third, but they also have 4 points. They just have a lower potential of 172. I am in fourth with 4 points and the score potential of 170. I lost a final 4 team today in Washington State. And then finally, it's a guessing game. Unfortunately, went 1-7 today and lost one of their final 4 teams as well. So, not a great day. I think 3 people lost a final 4 team today. But those are your standings as of the end of part 1, which is where we are now, the end of part number 1. Hopefully you enjoyed. I know most of the games were actually pretty good. This one sucked. It was very bad. That's okay. Most of them were good, which I'm very happy about. And we'll give you a quick preview of tomorrow's first game to hopefully entice you to come back as soon as I can find my list here. Marquette at Ohio is who we are looking at. So we have Ohio taking on Marquette. There you go. That'll tip off tomorrow around 4 p.m. Pacific time. It'll be live on YouTube tomorrow. If you're watching this on YouTube when it posts, it'll be on YouTube on September 5th. So every Saturday, every Sunday on YouTube, there will be a part of September Mascot Madness 2. This was part 1. Hopefully you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you later with more. Have a good one. Twitch, stick around for a raid.